Welcome in to Utah Grizzlies hockey on YouTube, Flow Sports, and everywhere else that you can find it. But really, you want to be right here on YouTube because this right here, friends, is the voice of the Utah Grizzlies, Tyson Whiting. And Tyson, here we are at Idaho Central Arena. Welcome to YouTube and welcome to the 2022-23 preseason.
Well, it's great to be here. I was going to welcome you, but thanks for being here, Monty. It's going to be a fun season. The Grizzlies won the Mountain Division Championship last season. It was the first time in team history they won 42 games, which is the most in 20 years. And they've got so many returning players. You think about the 25 players that are in camp, the 25th player being Ben Tardiff today, who was just reassigned from the AHL's Colorado Eagles. And Monty, he just led the team in assists and points last year and had one of the most amazing playoff runs that any player had.
Well, you know, you look at Ben in practice. We saw him this morning on a great conversation with him in the room before we headed over to the A-Court Ice Center. And he just looks like a professional hockey player. I mean, he operates at a different level, I think, than most people do. And I think you know this better than anybody. This team with Ryan Kanasowicz as its head coach wants speed. It wants good handles. It wants smart, high IQ hockey players. And I don't think there's probably anybody that's faster or smarter than Ben Tardiff. And boy, did we see that in the preseason, because he was actually in the preseason with the Colorado Avalanche. He was in Colorado Eagles camp, Tyson. He looks ready to rock and roll. And by the way, you won't see him tonight. You will see him tomorrow at the Weber County Ice Sheet in Ogden for Game 2 of this series against the Steelheads.
You will see Nate Clerman tonight. Clerman was a member with Ben Tardiff in that preseason game. I think it was the first preseason game that the Avalanche had. Clerman comes back from the AHL's Colorado Eagles. And think about getting the help once again. The Grizzlies getting the help from the Eagles and the Avalanche. Clerman on the second year of an NHL entry-level deal. And you think about this for consistency. You know, the Colorado Avalanche over the last 4 years have a winning percentage of far greater than .600. The Utah Grizzlies and the Colorado Eagles, the two affiliates of the Colorado Avalanche over the last 4 years, have the exact same winning percentage of .593.
Yeah, I mean, it is really difficult, and Ryan Kanasowicz and I actually had this conversation. It's very difficult to have all three levels of your organization win at a high level. And again, I don't have to tell you this, the Utah Grizzlies had a historically good season last year. Obviously, the Colorado Eagles are always solid, and you might have heard that the Colorado Avalanche are good at hockeying. They won the Stanley Cup. They raised the banner this week when the season opened. I mean, it's very challenging to have all three levels in your organization be this good, but they are. And I think it's a big tip of the cap to the commitment in this organization from the Avalanche to the Eagles, and certainly right here at the Utah Grizzlies, to be good, to put in the effort, to put in the funds, to put in the belief system that's in place in this organization to win games, Tyson. That's why I think you're seeing such good development at all three levels.
And yes, we are on a new platform. We're on YouTube. Yes, Monty is tall and I am short. And Monty, if they're going to put us on camera, we might need to put some makeup on.
Well, I don't know about you, but I'm really good looking. But,
I'm not,
I don't know.
I'm not. That's why I was really nervous about this camera right being there.
You know what? It's interesting times, you know. And if I see everybody commenting on YouTube, really good to see all of you guys. If you're watching us on YouTube right now, if you're on Facebook, make sure you give us a big thumbs up and a subscription on YouTube. It really helps the channel grow. We're going to be here every home game, certainly, for you. It's a pleasure to be with you from Idaho Central Arena. And by the way, why don't we show you what we look like here? There we go.
That's a disappointment.
We'll flip you around and show you the Zamboni and stuff is on the ice. But when you look at this, Tyson, this is one of the premier buildings in the ECHL. I don't think there's any doubt that tonight you're going to see one of the better home ice advantages over your career, and you've been here many years now. How do you enjoy coming to this building? What's it like coming in as an opponent?
It's one of the most fun places you can be. It's 5,200 people. There's really you got about 8 rows worth of stands, and if you're watching on YouTube, you got about 8 rows worth of stands, and you got the concourse, and you got an upper level. You got a nice video board at center ice, which we're going to have at Maverik Center this season, and the crowd gets it's a raucous environment. And last season, you think about the home ice advantage Idaho had last year. They went 25-10-1 at home this season, which was the 25 wins were tied for the most in the league. Now, why did they miss the playoffs last year? Well, they really struggled on the road. They went 11-23-1-1 away from this building, and the Steelheads are bound and determined. I think if the road record improves this season, I think they're going to be right up there with Utah atop the Mountain Division.
Well, and certainly this is a rivalry that goes back many years. I've been to Idaho probably for 10 years now. My first game in Idaho was back in 2013. And this building just continues to improve. And the thing that you notice is that the fan base here is mighty, but this is a small building. So when you get this building full, it only takes probably 3,000 to 5,000 fans here in Idaho to fill this place up. It's built acoustically well, so it is loud. This organization in Idaho is known as one of the better organizations in minor league hockey, and I think that's what this is about. And I think when you come to places here, and again, this is something that Ryan Kanasowicz has talked a lot about, you have to win on the road in this league to be good, to achieve at the top of the conference, to win the Mountain Division, to do those things. The Utah Grizzlies had to win a lot of games on the road, Tyson, and it starts tonight, because this is a very difficult place to play, as you're aware.
Grizzlies have not had a lot of success against Idaho in recent preseasons. In fact, the last 3 years where both teams were in the league, Idaho didn't play 2 years ago, still had to win 5 of the last 6 preseason games. But I think it's going to be an interesting goaltending matchup, and I think we got one of the better goaltending matchups of the preseason. Lucas Parikh, if that name sounds familiar, he was the Rapid City Rush starting goaltender. He played in 5 of the 6 playoff games against the Grizzlies last season in the Mountain Division Finals. He's now a member of the Utah Grizzlies as he signed an AHL contract with the Colorado Eagles last season. He went 14-8-8 with a save percentage of .915 and a goals against average of 2.69. Parikh, and I think we saw it a couple times, he shut out Utah twice. He might be better when he sees a lot of action. You know, the 2 shutouts against the Grizzlies, 46 shots on December 27th, the game before the Brady DeVries emergency goaltender game. And then game 5.
I thought you said 46 shots.
That's right, 46 shots. The Grizzlies were peppering them all night. And Parikh was just making one save after another. And then in game 5 of the Mountain Division Finals, he had a 43-save shutout. So he's almost better when he sees more action. He was one of those guys, if he sees like 20 shots a night, he might get a little bit bored, but I'm really excited to see what he's able to bring to Utah.
Well, you know, Lucas Parikh is a guy, again, I've spent a lot of time with him this training camp, and I can tell you, Tyson, he's a great personality. He's a great guy. And the thing I think that's so interesting about Lucas is he's still very young. And I think that when you come and you play, for a guy like Ryan Kanasowicz in the Utah Grizzlies, you're going to get an opportunity to excel. There's no doubt about that. And I think their goaltending here in Utah with the Grizzlies, our goaltending is going to be fantastic. I mean, you look at both guys that'll be between the pipes in this preseason, and it starts tonight with Lucas Parikh, I think, very astutely for everything that, we've talked about tonight. What's the first thing you said to me before the boys came out on the ice? Well, hey, look, there's a Parikh jersey right behind the Grizzlies bench.
Yeah, right behind the bench. Yeah, we're in a Lucas Parikh jersey, and it wasn't even a Rapid City Rush jersey, so I think it's from back in his days, a native of the Czech Republic, former third-round pick of the LA Kings. The backup tonight, we'll probably see him tomorrow at the Weber's County ice sheet, Garrett Metcalf, who's back for his 3rd season in Utah.
I like Garrett a lot. Again, a good guy. Who knew he was such a fan of Peaky Blinders? He's got Thomas Shelby from Peaky Blinders. If you don't know it, it's a Netflix series. But Peaky Blinders, he's an artist. He's just a really good individual. He's a guy that you really enjoy talking with, from talking about cars with him, talking about artwork with him, talking about technique and goaltending with him. Garrett Metcalf is a guy that has all of the physical tools that you need to excel. And so it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. And I think, again, in organizations like this, where you're stacked from the Avalanche, the Eagles, the Grizzlies, you're going to see multiple goaltenders this year between the pipes for the Grizzlies. As much as we love these 2 guys, there is constant change in the ECHL. These guys will get opportunities. Garrett Metcalf was in the A last year with Lehigh Valley, played very well at that level. So don't be surprised if you see him get a call up somewhere in the A again. But while they're here, I think this blue line is going to be phenomenal. I think our guys between the pipes are going to be phenomenal. This is going to be a very, very solid Utah Grizzlies team.
Garrett Metcalf was in camp with the Calgary Wranglers a couple weeks ago and sounded like he made a pretty good impression while he was in Calgary with their AHL camp. So he'll be the backup tomorrow. Or he'll be the backup tonight. Probably will get the start tomorrow. Trenton Miner is still with the Colorado Eagles. It appears that he may have made that team. He led the league.
Good for Trent.
He had 7 shutouts to lead the league, and it broke a Grizzlies single-season franchise record. But you mentioned that change. We might end up seeing him at some point this season just to get a bunch of work in. I mean, who really knows about goaltending situations? And you mentioned the changes. I always thought that the ECHL stood for Ever-Changing Hockey League. And yet you look at this Grizzlies roster,
awesome.
It seems like every training camp I'd been up till this year, it's always been trying to figure out names and faces, and about 80% of the roster would be new. It's an amazing stat that of the 25 players in camp, with Ben Tardiff joining the club today, maybe we'll see him tomorrow. He's not going to be in there tonight. But 20 guys, 11 forwards. You've got a bunch of defensemen. Almost the entire defensive unit outside of Dastu and Martin are back. Yeah. And then you got Garrett Metcalf in net. So you're talking about so much continuity, and that's something that we haven't seen before. And I think because of that, I think training camp, they were able to get a lot more accomplished because they didn't have to work on too many system things.
That's a phenomenal point, Tyson. And I think what we saw today, and I know you were there as well, when we saw Ben Tardiff walk in the room, and then we saw Tyler Penner walk in the room, there was physical elation. There were guys hugging. There were guys smiling. Like, this is a team that likes to be together. And I think when you travel to places like Idaho, you have to be together because these are extremely difficult atmospheres to achieve in. And when you achieve the things that this hockey club achieved last year with the Utah Grizzlies, you can't help but build chemistry. And when you see a guy like Ben Tardiff, who's an NHL talent, you see a guy like Penn's walk in the room this morning, it was really good to see the hugs. It was really good to see the handshakes. And it's just something different. And I know that's cliche, and I know that we throw that around, talking professional sports all the time. Oh, this is something special. It truly is. I mean, the chemistry on this team from the top to the bottom of this roster, and make no mistake about this, fans, there are guys tonight and tomorrow night in Ogden that are fighting for a place on this roster. Ryan Kanasowicz told me on my show the other morning, he has got really difficult roster decisions to make, which is exactly what you want as a general manager. You want to have difficult roster decisions to make. And when you're able to bring guys like Ben Tardiff and Tyler Penner down, and, you talk about Trent Miner, you talk about all these guys, these are NHL talents. They all believe that they can play in the AHL for Colorado or somebody else. They all believe that once they get there, they can achieve at the NHL level. And I think that's why, one of the other guys that I think is so interesting is Victor Bartley.
Yeah.
Because Victor's a guy that's got over 120 games in the NHL. He straight up told me on the bench the other morning, I'm here to tell these guys it's possible for them to get to the NHL as well. I think that's what's so special about this team.
And the guys that were here 2 years ago, I know Jared Pike, the new Grizzlies assistant coach, he was part of the team 2 years ago. It's about the story of Hayden Hodgson. Hodgson was kind of a random ECHL player, played the second half of the season with the Grizzlies, had 6 goals and 6 assists in 25 games. Got a chance, he pretty much had a tryout with Lehigh Valley last year in the AHL. Not only made the team, but scored 18 goals for Lehigh Valley and ended up in the NHL by March.
Yeah.
And you talk about a guy that spent about 6 or 7 years in the ECHL with about 6 teams, and all of a sudden, he gets his opportunity, makes the most of it, and he's in the NHL. And so for a lot of guys, you see that being kind of an inspiration that, hey, that could be me.
Yeah, no doubt about it. We're about 8 minutes away from face-off here in Idaho at Idaho Central Arena. Grizzlies and Steelheads opening up the 2022-23 preseason here on YouTube. And listen, if you're listening on YouTube, or if you're not, please find us on YouTube. Utah Grizzlies is the only search you have to do. Give us a thumbs up. A couple of shout-outs on Utah Grizzlies hockey presented by Mountain Land Supply. I want to say hello to everybody who is commenting this evening. Take it to the Max 6. How the heck are you? Brady G, good to see you. Austin Welch. Mrs. Monty, hello. Nicholas Hayes, how the heck are you?
Oh, Nick Hayes.
Nick Hayes wants to know.
He wanted a shout out. He messaged me on Twitter and wanted a shout out. Hey, Nick, how's it going?
How the heck are you? A lot of people asking about Mixlr, Tyson. We have transitioned from Mixlr to right here on YouTube. You'll get the stream. You're seeing the ice right now here in Idaho, but what I think you're going to see this season is that we'll whip the camera around here, and Tyson and I, especially on home games, we'll be doing play-by-play for you on camera. Now, Tyson believes that, he doesn't have the physical attributes to be on camera. Tyson, I'm here to tell you, buddy, you look great. And the tie tonight, Tyson, is amazing.
I'm a little bit concerned about the camera. Obviously, I'm about a 3. But I'm hoping to get kind of like a 9 or a 10 for a suit to just kind of make up for it.
You know what? I'm like a 7 or an 8, so we can average like a 6 or some. I don't do math at all. Let's whip you around and show you what's happening in the building tonight. Here in Boise, you know that their game presentation is always fun. We'll take you up through the
Smokey
national
the Bear
anthem.
there, the mascot there looks like Smokey the Bear.
I believe his name is Blue. He's no Grisby, though. But hello, Nicholas Hayes, Tanner Walker. Good to see you, my friend. Kyle Smith, Elijah's Daily Sports.
Oh, Elijah Webb's in the house.
What's up, Elijah? Good to see you, my friend. We really appreciate you guys being here. If you're watching right now on YouTube, please give us a thumbs up and a like. Let's get rolling here as we are just minutes away from opening face-off here in Idaho. Utah Grizzlies hockey tonight is presented by our good friends at Maverik.
When you pay with the Nitro card at Maverik, you always save 10 cents or more on fuel every gallon, every day. And you could save a whole lot more thanks to Nitro Best Price. Pick up a Nitro card and upgrade your Adventure Club account today.
Live from Idaho Central Arena in Boise, Idaho, it's Utah Grizzlies hockey as it's the first of 2 preseason games this weekend between the Grizzlies and the Idaho Steelheads. Hi, everybody. I'm Tyson Whiting here with Monty. It's great to be here. Off-season was spectacular for some people. It wasn't really all that good for me, but it was a lot of fun as the Grizzlies celebrated their Mountain Division championship. They'll have the banner next Friday for the Grizzlies home opener against the Rapid City Rush. Don't forget, tomorrow night, the Grizzlies and Steelheads will be at the Weber County Ice Sheet in Ogden. 7:10 face-off for that one. That will be the second game of a doubleheader as the Ogden Mustangs will face the Idaho Falls Spud Kings.
The Spud Kings.
That's right.
Thank you very much.
Hey, we love the Spud Kings. We love the Spud Kings partly because I think we own the Spud Kings.
I believe that we do. Go everybody wins tomorrow night.
You got the starting lineups in your hand, Monty, as the Grizzlies take on the Steelheads. We know it's going to be a good goaltending matchup as Lucas Brake gets the start in net for the Grizzlies. He played for Rapid City last season and was their bell cow. Speaking of bell cow, there's some bell cows in front of us. Jake Kupski gets the start in net for the Steelheads. Last season, Kupski for the Steelheads had a 19-17 record with a .907 save percentage and 2.57 goals against average.
Your Utah Grizzlies have taken the ice here at Idaho Central Arena, and a lot of familiar names that you're going to see as the starting lineups are being announced here in Idaho. But you're going to see a lot of familiar names on this team as we've covered here on Utah Grizzlies Hockey, presented by Mountain Land Supply Company. A lot of new names. That's the theme of the season, and I also think the theme of the season this year is going to be expectations. There are great expectations this season for this Utah Grizzlies team, and I don't know that you can have as much success as this team had last year, Tyson, but certainly you want to have the expectations to have that.
Yeah, the Grizzlies return so many different faces. Let's get to some of those names. You know, you talk about Tyler Penner. He's not in the lineup, which is kind of funny because he played in every game last season. But Dakota Raby, who made a big impression. And I think about the game that clinched the division title. April 15th, the next to last game, Dakota Raby with a hat trick. He's got amazing speed, and he's going to be out there tonight for the Grizzlies. I'm really looking forward to seeing him. Kyle Betts had a pretty good playoff run. He's back in the Grizzlies uniform. He is one of 3 assistant captains tonight. Betts along with James Shearer and Nate Clerman. Clerman and Shearer were keys to the Grizzlies late in the regular season last year as well.
And again, Benjamin Tardiff is back with the club, as is Tyler Penner, but you will not see them tonight. You will see them tomorrow in Ogden. And before we drop the puck, let's get you ready for the opening faceoff with your national anthem live tonight in Idaho at the Idaho Central Arena.
Great rendition of the national anthem here from Idaho Central Arena. We mentioned Lucas Preeks, the starting goaltender tonight for the Grizzlies. Starting defenseman, Bryson Martin, no relation to Luke Martin. Bryson playing for his 8th different ECHL team. He'll be one defenseman. Andrew Nilsson, that's right, Andrew Nilsson, who was with the Grizzlies the first half of last season. He had 9 goals and 18 assists in 36 games. He will be the other defenseman. He's a big guy, 6'4" and about 230.
Yes, he is. And Andrew Nielsen was mic'd up. You can see that right here on the training camp reports, right here on your YouTube, on your Grizzlies YouTube channel as well. Who's up front for the Grizzlies?
Johnny Walker, the Worm, wearing number 7, first full season as a pro. He played at Arizona State for 5 years and is their all-time leading scorer. Taryn Pfizer has really stood out in training camp. He had a good postseason for the Grizzlies. The former Victoria Royal of the WHL, and Kyle Betts, who will be taking the face-off for the Grizzlies. As Utah will be skating from left to right, Idaho from right to left. As Betts takes the face-off, and it's won by Idaho. Steelheads in a blue jersey with white numbers. As that Spannenbergs bounces off the boards, we'll get to the Idaho starters in a minute. As Nilsson will spin it around the boards over to the near corner, shovels it ahead to Taryn Pfizer. Bryson Nelson wearing number 14 now. Nilsson gets it back left side, crosses center ice and dumps it in. Darren Brady, one defenseman for Idaho. He gets knocked down. Walker feeds it to the high slot for Martin. He skates to his left. He'll take a shot. Saved by Kupski. That's the first shot by Bryson Martin in a Grizzlies uniform. He'll skate off the ice as Cameron Wright, one of the newest members of the Grizzlies, University of Denver product. He's on the ice wearing number 15 as Idaho has it deep in their own zone as the Steelheads make their first line change of the game. Cam Strong, number 26, out on the ice for the Grizzlies as Idaho feeds it out towards center ice. Pass goes past Hedrick. Now it goes to the corner as Idaho. Pelton Bice will throw it towards Kudla. He feeds it over to the right corner. Utah gets it as they'll pass it out to Keaton Jamison. Jamison loses the puck at neutral ice. Idaho back in their own zone. Long-range pass. Did it connect? No, it says the linesman. Icing is on the Steelheads. 18:51 left in the first period as we're underway. Grizzlies have taken a shot. Idaho yet to take one on Lucas Parikh.
Yeah, and the good news is they were playing a lot of hockey in the Steelhead zone here in the first minute of the game, and that's what you want to see. And it's going to be interesting to see how this team comes together in these first games, Tyson. But really pay attention here to this blue line and how they do on the faceoffs.
Keaton Jamison will take the draw against Jade Miller. Miller played with South Carolina last season and played in all 72 games. Draw won by Idaho as they'll throw it over to the left side. Keaton Jamison couldn't keep it in as the puck exited the zone. Offside of the Grizzlies. Face-off will come back to neutral ice.
That's a matter of inches right there. That puck just hopped up on J-Mo and couldn't keep it in the zone. It's a full line change. Will come out here with a guy that I'm really interested to see for the Utah Grizzlies, Christian Simeone. Same thing.
Played at Merrimack, had 4 goals last season. Neil Robinson also out there. He's coming off an ACL surgery. Dakota Raby, the defenseman, are Kyle Pouncey and Jordan Stone as Idaho wins the draw. They'll feed it out towards the bench area. Zach Walker, he'll get it to center ice. Now the Steelheads get in. Colton Keller wearing number 34. He stops in the corner. Thought about throwing it to the left point, but nobody was there. Robinson takes it away. He'll feed it out to Raby. Raby crosses center ice. He's got great speed. Veers off to the left. He'll take a shot, and it gets blocked. Kupski will hand deliver it towards the Steelhead. Big hit as Zach Walker throws his body around with Jordan Stone. Stone gets back up as the puck's over in the left corner of the Steelhead zone. Simeone gets knocked down. Idaho takes control of the puck as Kawaguchi gets it out towards center ice, and it rolls towards the Grizzlies zone. Both teams make a line change as Jordan Stone gets it. He'll stand behind Lucas Parikh, who's wearing number 35. Stone played in 18 games with the Grizzlies last year. He'll feed it out to center ice looking for Joey Colatarchi. Hits off Colatarchi's stick, rolls all the way towards Kupski. Plays it just to the left of his net. He'll spin it around the boards. Grizzlies get it and spin it back around the right side. Utah feeds it out to Colatarchi, who's playing forward. He'll get it over to Andrew Nilsson. Nilsson gets spun around and gets taken away. Willie Niram was in the area. Now Nick Canati, number 3, 22-year-old, over in the corner. He's battling with Nilsson. Puck ends up drifting towards Colatarchi in the left point near the boards. Colatarchi bounces it to Joey Strada, number 6. He's about 5'4". He's got a lot of heart. Out towards center ice. Steelheads get into Grizzlies territory and dump it in.
Andrew Nielsen's got to keep it simple. He has a tendency to try and complicate the very simple plays. Just dump that puck deep in his zone.
Martin bounces off the boards. A.J. White, the captain. He'll get it to Jordan Timmons. Backhand shot. Saved by Parikh. Puck rolls along the near wall. Colatarchi gets it. He'll lift it over Joey Strada as Grizzlies make a line change. Idaho running into it. Kyle Betts and Darren Brady collide in the far corner as the puck's deep in the Steelhead zone. Now Idaho gets it. They'll get it out towards neutral ice. Utah will sail it back in as it bounced off the glass, rolls towards the right side. As Colatarchi looking to deliver a hit on Matt Register. And Register got out of the way. Now left side, Grizzlies feed it across, hit nobody as it bounces off the near boards. Now the Steelheads will get it out towards center ice. Good job by Nate Klerman picking off a pass as Idaho is looking for A.J. White at the Idaho offensive line. Klerman, the Notre Dame captain of a couple years ago, has the puck. He'll skeet towards his right, will bounce it off the boards. Goes deep into the Steelhead zone. Idaho wanted an icing, but none to be had as Utah makes a line change. Cameron Wright out there along with Kyle Pouncey as Idaho crosses center ice. Now the Steelheads skate into the zone. Right point shot, saved by Parikh. He holds on with 16:10 left in the first, still no score.
Not too surprised to see a little chippy action in front of the net there. And again,
don't be that lame cliched guy that says, there's a little extracurricular after the play.
No
don't do that.
extracurricular, but a little chippiness between Idaho and Utah. Certainly not a surprise when these two clubs hook up.
Keaton Jamison will take the draw for Utah. He won a lot of faceoffs against Idaho in a couple late regular season games. Jake Miller will take the faceoff for Idaho, the former South Carolina Stingrays. The Grizzlies won the faceoff. Miller gets in the left point, dumps it towards Parikh. Parikh out of his net. We'll get it over towards Cameron Wright. Wright gets it taken away by Wade Murphy, wearing number 6. As the Steelheads re-enter the zone, Register gets it poked away. Rolls back towards the Steelheads blue line. They get the puck as they'll drift back deep in their own zone. As Idaho spreads the ice, skating from right to left here in the first period. You can also watch the game on Flow Sports as we're on YouTube for the audio stream. As the Steelheads skeet down the middle, Dawson Bardo fanned on a pass. As all Grizzlies were looking for a feed out near the Idaho blue line, but it was just wide of the mark, looking for Neil Robinson. Robinson was number 22 last season, but he's 27 this year. Big hit at the Idaho line as the Steelheads get the puck as they cross center ice. Idaho, Jack Becker. Becker stops in the corner. He'll feed it up top to the high slot. Idaho with a lefty shot, saved by Parikh. Grizzlies get it 2-on-2. Utah crosses center ice. Robinson gains the line, stops to the right point, gets to Raby. Raby skates the right side, now around the net, tries to feed it out to Simeone out in front, but it rolls towards Jake Kupski, who makes the save 5 minutes in.
Boy, Simeone's had a really good start here. Made a nice play to keep a puck in, made a nice play to get a puck out, and then he finds it in front there. But you talked about Dakota Raby, plays very fast, and he's not the biggest guy in the world, but he's got really good hands. He's a really good instinctual hockey player, and a lot of times when guys are that size, and Dakota, again, he's a little undersized, you have to have really good instincts, and certainly he does.
Draw in the right circle of the Steelhead zone. Cameron Wright will take it for Utah. He's out there along with Joey Strada and Joey Colatarchi. Andrew Nelson and Bryson Martin, no relation to Luke, out there as Utah wins the faceoff. Martin right side takes a shot and it gets blocked. Steelheads will skate out to center ice, left side. Timmons up ahead. Idaho with a breakaway. Steelheads skate in, backhand shot, saved by Parikh. That shot was taken by Willie Neerum. Now action out in front. There's about 8 bodies in the crease. Now Idaho with the backhand shot. Parikh looks like he's covered it up, and we finally get a whistle. And Lucas is able to cover it up as Idaho with a golden opportunity, but Lucas Parikh saves the day.
Well, it all started with a bad decision. An effort to knock the puck down there is just never what you want to do. If you are Bryson Martin and you're looking for minutes on this team and shifts on this team, you've got to be solid. He chose to try and, knock that puck out of the air. It turned into a breakaway, and Lucas Parikh bailed him out not once, but about 3-4 times, as the Steelheads just wouldn't let it go.
He was dominant for Rapid City last year. Good to have him on the Grizzlies side this season. Left circle, face off in the Grizzlies zone, won by Idaho, as Jordan Timmons will dump it into the corner. Now it spins back to the right side. Miller tries to feed Timmons out in front. The Grizzlies poke it away. Bouncing puck goes over Brady's stick and goes out towards center ice. Brady was with Idaho last season. Third-year pro, second with Idaho. As a pass to Miller, bounces off his stick and rolls deep into the Grizzlies zone. Utah gets it with Nate Klerman, the former Notre Dame captain, second-year pro. As he'll get the puck, he'll skate down the middle. Now he'll stop, get it to Pfizer on the right side. He crosses center ice. Grizzlies don't have numbers, so Pfizer dumps it in. Grizzlies make a line change. Idaho in the blue jerseys will cross center ice. Kawaguchi skates into the left side. He gets poke checked by Jamison, but keeps the puck. Kawaguchi stops in the corner, falls down. Now he feeds to White. Shot saved by Parikh. Golden opportunity for Idaho in the left circle, but Parikh makes another save. Puck at center ice. Idaho resets. They regain the line. They'll skate to the right circle. Shot saved by Parikh, and Lucas holds on as that is the 8th shot on goal by Idaho, and Parika stopped them all as the Steelheads about shot the Grizzlies 7-2, 13:42 left in the first period. Timeout on the ice. No score here in the preseason opener on the Grizzlies Hockey Network, presented by Mountain Land Supply Company.
When you pay with the Nitro card at Maverik, you always save 10 cents or more on fuel every gallon, every day. And you could save a whole lot more thanks to Nitro Best Price. Pick up a Nitro card and upgrade your Adventure Club account today.
It's a preseason opener here at Idaho Central Arena. Don't forget tomorrow night, 7:10 face-off at the Weber County Ice Sheet in Ogden. It will be the second of 2 preseason games. Grizzlies and the Steelheads. We may see some different faces on both sides for that Saturday game, and I'm really looking forward to what was a fun atmosphere last season and turned out to be a great hockey game. I expect it to be that case once again tomorrow night.
Yeah, I would expect that as well. But, as we have no score here in the first period, it'd be really nice to see the Grizzlies tilt the ice back into the Idaho zone, because Idaho's really taken hold here. Lucas Parika's been a very busy man in the last 2 minutes. It all starts with this faceoff presented by Siegfried and Jensen.
Jameson will take the faceoff. Cameron Wright and Cam Strong, one of the newer Grizzlies on the ice, as Idaho wins the faceoff. Right point shot. Blocker saved by Parikh. As that shot was taken from the right side, now over towards the left point. Bardo gets it. Righty shot. Saved by Parikh again. Puck rolls towards the near corner. Utah delivers a hit. Kawaguchi battling. He gets the puck. He's along the boards, dancing around. Kawaguchi feeds to Bardo. Dawson's his first name. He tried to get it back to Kawaguchi. It was picked off by Cameron Wright, wearing number 15. Idaho crosses center ice and dumps it in. Parikh lets it go towards the right corner. Big collision between Jordan Stone and Wade Murphy. Cameron Wright gets it, wearing number 15. He won a national championship last season at the University of Denver. And he'll dump it into the left corner. He's a prolific goal scorer, at least at college level, as the Steelheads get the puck back out to neutral ice. Andrew Nilsson tried to feed it to Raby. Nilsson gets it back. He'll backhand it deep into the Steelhead zone as Kupski behind his net will play it. As chasing after it's Dakota Raby, but the Steelheads have it deep in their own zone. About 7.5 minutes into the contest, still no score. Idaho feeds over to the right side. Wade Murphy gains the line. He gets hit by Nilsson, and that's going to be a penalty. Remember, Andrew Nilsson led the league in minor penalties despite missing 2 months as he was released in late January. He hit Wade Murphy up high, and the Steelheads will go on the power play for the first time tonight.
Andrew Nilsson's going to be very lucky he didn't get a double here as he shot that puck back at the Steelhead that he had knocked down, and I agree that's a penalty, but it all starts up here at the Idaho blue line when Andrew doesn't throw that puck in deep, and there's a couple of collisions there again. Make the simple play in hockey 9 times out of 10. If you just dump that puck in the first chance you get, good things will happen. When you play with it at the blue line, bad things happen.
Watch out for A.J. White, who's taking the face-off for Idaho. He's dominant on the power play. He was 2 years ago with the Grizzlies and was last year with Idaho. Utah wins the face-off. Taron Pfizer will clear it out. Kupski behind his net plays it. And so he'll throw it over towards Matt Register in the corner. Register has been in this league a long time. Possible future Hall of Famer. He won back-to-back Kelly Cups with Colorado in 2017 and 2018. He played overseas last year, was with Allen 2 years ago. Register has the puck. He's got good size at about 6'3" and 220. He dances near his bench area. Now he'll feed it over to Kawaguchi. Kawaguchi dumps it into the corner as Kawaguchi collides with James Shearer. Now the Steelheads trying to feed it back towards the right point. It deflects back towards Shearer. He'll throw it to the right point around the boards. Idaho battling with Utah 2-on-2. Grizzlies were able to clear it out to center ice. Good battle by Utah. That was one. Kawaguchi, wearing number 77, gets the puck from Jonas Svanenbergs.
Nice job, Tyson. Good clearance there.
I looked for at the Idaho lineup for 3 hours. We get to game time, and I've forgotten every name.
Kyle Betts with a big clear there to break this rush up, and let's see if we can kill the rest of this penalty with a minute left.
Over to center ice, Idaho. Right side dumps it in. Parikh tried to cut it off. It goes past him. Over towards Bryson Martin, number 14. Last year it was Trey Bradley that wore 14. And over towards Flerman, who's able to clear it out and make that Cameron Wright, as there's 40 seconds left in the Steelheads power play. 11:05 and counting left in the first. Still no score. Idaho's outshot Utah 8-2. Steelheads get it over to the slot. Get it in. Miller throws it up top for Kudla. Kudla gets it back, wearing number 47. He'll feed it over to Wade Murphy, who drew the penalty. Murphy out in front to Miller. He'll feed it over to the right side. Now back up top for Kudla. Kudla over to the right circle. Back over towards Murphy, who couldn't connect on the one-timer. Murphy gets it back in the corner. He gets hit by Pouncey. Grizzlies get it with Jamison, and he clears it out.
5 seconds left. That'll just about do it. A huge kill here. A couple of really quality plays deep in their own zone. And again, we talked about Klerman, and he is absolutely making an impact already on special teams.
Steelheads cross center ice. They bounce it off the far glass. Grizzlies skating from left to right. As we see it from Idaho Central Arena, Simeone throws it ahead. Pass intended for Robinson's poked away. Now Simeone gets it back at neutral ice. He'll feed it to the right side for Raby. Dakota avoids a check and dumps it in. Colton Keller, number 34. He was their unsung hero last season for Idaho. He actually won the award for that. As Idaho will get it out towards neutral ice. Steelheads run. Keller crosses center ice. Gets over to Gennady. Backhand shot. Oh, Freak poked it away. If he would have gotten past Freak, he would have found a way to make it 1-0 Steelheads. We're still scoreless. Utah lifts it high into the air at center ice. Neil Robinson gets it. He tried to back it in. Kennedy with a hit as Robinson gets knocked down by Zach Walker. And that's going to be interference. The Grizzlies are going to be on the power play for the first time tonight when we come back. 9:39 left in the first period. Steelheads have outshot the Grizzlies 9-2. But there's still no score on the Grizzlies Hockey Network. .39 left in the first period. No score. Steelheads have outshot the Grizzlies 9-2, but Utah will be on the power play for the first time tonight. And Tim, we're not seeing him tonight, but I think Ben Tardiff will be instrumental to the Grizzlies power play this season, just with his playmaking ability and his ability to find the open skater.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think he brings skill, speed, everything that you're looking for at the ECHL level and above, by the way. Again, don't forget Ben Tardiff's a guy that we saw in Colorado with both the Avalanche and the Eagles this year. That's an NHL talent. You'll see him tomorrow night in Ogden. But this is a real opportunity now for the Utah Grizzlies as we are scoreless, 9:39 to go. So just about halfway through the first period here as Walker takes a really dumb penalty in the neutral zone, just not necessary. And now the Steelheads have to kill it off.
Johnny Walker's in the left wing. Kyle Betts will take the face off. Taryn Pfizer to his right. Bryson Martin and Andrew Nilsson are up top. So two defensemen on this power play unit. Watch out for Pfizer, but also watch out for Andrew Nilsson. He's got a lethal one-timer. He can end up taking Dastu's place in terms of being the finisher. As Utah wins the draw, Walker will throw it to Bryson Martin as it spins back towards Walker. He's along the end wall. Walker back towards Pfizer on the left side, just outside the circle near the boards. Pfizer over to Walker. Walker tries to feed out in front. Shot saved by Kupski. That was taken by Betts. As Idaho gets the puck, they'll skate towards the near boards, and they'll backhand it out of the zone as it goes to neutral ice.
Taryn Pfizer is absolutely a critical part of this power play. And I think you saw it there, Tyson. He has great hands.
Taryn Pfizer on the right side gets a poke back towards Martin at the center ice logo. He'll feed it to Walker. Walker trying to get it back to Martin on the give and go. Walker can't touch it because of the delayed offside. But then again, he touched it anyway. It bounced off the boards. Idaho gets it neutral ice as A.J. White will lightly tap it into the Grizzlies zone as the Steelheads make a line change. 1:14 and counting left in the Grizzlies' first power play of the game. Still no score. Grizzlies 1 for 1 on the penalty kill as Nate Klerman, deep in his own zone, will skate towards the near boards, gets it to Pfizer. Taryn at neutral ice, crosses center ice down the middle. Pfizer gets it poked into the right corner. He runs it down himself. Pfizer has outstanding speed, and he's been great in camp. As the Grizzlies skate around the net, Utah will feed it over to Nilsson. Nilsson scored 9 goals last season in half a year. Raby throws it to Klerman, back to Raby on the left side. Over to Klerman. He'll take a righty shot on it. Got redirected as the Steelheads over to the right side. Keep battling, but Utah has the puck. Nilsson, right point, feeds it to Pfizer near the boards. Back to Nilsson. He winds and fires, saved by Kupski. Might have been blocked out in front, about 5 feet in front of him. As Raby over to the right side gets it. Dances around the circle, feeds it across, but it went over the stick of Nate Klerman and out of the zone to neutral ice as Idaho sneaks in a line change. 17 seconds left in the power play as Klerman skates towards the corner, stops on the far side. Klerman gets hit by Bardo, and taking it over is Jamison. I tried to feed it out to the left circle. Now Raby with a shot. He scores! Dakota Raby on the one-timer gets a power play goal, and the Grizzlies have taken a 1-0 lead.
All of this because Taryn Pfizer did a really good job of hustling on that initial rush on the power play, really made Idaho work. And what happened? They had to try and get that quick line change in that you mentioned, and it allowed Utah to reset and push that puck back in deep. And again, what are we seeing? We are seeing speed out of this Utah Grizzlies team that is absolutely a hallmark of what these guys want to do. Ryan Kanasowicz has to be thrilled with the way that they held the zone on that power play.
You could almost argue it was an ill-advised line change by Idaho because the puck was just out to neutral ice.
Absolutely.
And
another
Grizzlies
turnover.
have it, as puck ends up near the Idaho bench. Steelheads gather it. Idaho. Kanadi will throw it ahead looking for Wade Murphy. The pass is incomplete, goes deep into the Grizzlies zone. Icing is called. Speaking of incomplete passes, Tim's a big Chicago Bears fan.
Why?
Tough loss
Why?
against the Washington Commanders.
Why would you bring that up?
If you're going to be in this booth, there's going to be a little bit of heat from time to time.
Well, you know what? Hey, it is what it is. HS Sports says, what's up? How are you? Richard Dusenberry, good to see you, my friend, as well. And everybody watching us on YouTube, thanks for being here. Please give us a thumbs up.
John, the Steelhead zone. Simeone takes it, but it's won by Idaho. As Pelton Bice ties his first name, feeds over to the right side. Steelheads in the offensive zone. Cole Tarch will poke it back towards Simeone. Simeone left side, gains a line 2-on-3. Fakes it to Strada, keeps it himself. Simeone tries to feed Pouncey out in front. The puck didn't go through. Nicholas Kanadi, wearing number 3, only 22 years old. He'll feed it out to Cade Murphy, who dumps it in. Murphy played for South Carolina last season. As Strada will get it over to Simeone. Utah crosses center ice 2-on-2. Now Cameron Wright. He'll skate towards the slot, takes a shot. Saved by Kupski. He holds on, but Cameron Wright's a guy who scored a ton of goals in college last season for Denver, leading them to a national championship. Before that, he was at Bowling Green for 3 or 4 years. He was actually a teammate at Bowling Green's with Connor McDonald for a couple of years with the Falcons.
And the University of Denver is a hell of a hockey program. If you don't know that, and I can't believe a lot of people follow college hockey, that's a great program. But by the way, Lucas Parikh is off to a fantastic start as a Utah Grizzly.
Grizzlies win the draw. Strong with a shot, and that gets blocked. We'll talk about Cameron Strong and some of the newer members of the Grizzlies during the intermission when we have time. Utah feeds out to the right point for Bryson Martin, wearing number 14. Martin gets over to the right corner. Strong gets pushed by A.J. White. Cameron Wright loses the puck as Darren Brady spins it along, but it only goes to the left corner. Utah looks to center it. Idaho picks it off as the pass just was on the backhand as White gets it poked away as it rolls towards the Steelheads bench. Utah gets this backing out into their own zone. Martin with a rink-wide pass to Nilsson. Andrew gains a line to the left side, skates towards his right. Idaho pokes it away as the Grizzlies left side battling with Idaho. Steelheads come away with the one-on-one battles. They cross center ice. And Jordan Kawaguchi on an AHL deal, played last season with the Texas Stars. He dumps it in as Utah back behind their net. James Scherer, one of 3 assistant captains tonight. As Grizzlies get it out towards Kyle Betts. Betts also wearing an A, as well as Nate Klerman. But the Steelheads come away with the puck as they're in their own zone as they go D to D. As both teams spread the ice. Walker feeds it across. Pass was behind Jack Becker, wearing number 27. Becker played at Arizona State last year and was a teammate of Johnny Walker's. As the Steelheads cross center ice from the right side. Dumping in as it bounces off the backboards. Walker has to go past him out towards Taryn Pfizer, but Dawson Bardo gets there first. Pass up ahead as it deflects off the stick deep in the Grizzlies zone. Parikh lets Nate Klerman play it. Klerman skates towards his right. Now he'll lift the puck high into the air. It bounces into Steelheads territory. Idaho gets it at their defensive line as they'll bounce it off the far boards. Now Idaho skates down the middle. Willie Nerum makes a nice move, skates towards Parikh, but Parikh was able to pull it over towards the corner. Kanade feeds it across to Bardo. He tried to get Nerum in the left circle. Willie Nerum skates towards the left side. Feeds it out towards Svanenbergs. Keep forgetting his name, the Latvia native. As Nerum will throw it back into his own zone. Hey, it's preseason for everybody, Monty. As the Steelheads dump it in. Parikh gets it.
Great job by
to
Neil.
The left of his net.
Great job by Neil Robinson to clear that puck to end that threat, because I'm telling you, Idaho had a golden opportunity there if he doesn't get that puck out.
Utah leads 1-0. Idaho's outshot them 9-5. As Simeone gains the line, feeds it over to Raby, the goal scorer. He tries to center it, gets poked back to the left circle. Utah with a lefty shot, and that gets fanned on. Simeone, right side, will dump it towards Raby. Dakota trying to get it to Jordan Stone, but fanned on the pass. Now the Steelheads get it left side. Raby dives and trips. It's going to be an easy call for the referee. And Jake Jackson's able to make the call. Steelheads trying to feed it out in front. Utah touches up in the corner. as it looks like they're arguing they should get a second penalty. As Ty Pelton Bice got his stick broken, the former Newfoundland Growler. So it looks like it's going to be one penalty, and it's going to be Dakota Raby for tripping. An easy call to make, and Dakota Raby just did what he had to do there.
But again, this starts at the blue line, and this is something now that's a bit of a recurring theme tonight as we watch this game. Keep it simple. You're a third-line guy. You have to make the right decision. You have to make the easy play. All Dakota has to do there is kick that puck in. Go live to play on the forecheck. But when you try to get cute, and I think we saw that with Nielsen at the other end of that blue line, and what did that lead to? That led to an Idaho Steelheads power play. You have a 1-0 lead here in the first with 4:13 to go on Utah Grizzlies hockey presented by Mountain Land Supply Company. But, man, I'm telling you, overwhelmingly, if you make the simple play, 9 times out of 10, good things will happen. It's when you try to stick handle. It's when you try to do things that are not your job. Just get that puck in and let your guys go in forecheck. But, again, I look at Lucas Parikh. He's the reason you have a 1-0 lead. They could easily have 2 and maybe 3 goals because they've had some quality opportunities, and Lucas Parikh has kept the Idaho Steelheads off the score sheet so far.
Well, Lucas Parikh, the 2 shutouts he had against Utah last season, 46 saves on December 27th, and then the 5th game of the playoff series, 43 saves. He might be better with the more work he sees.
Absolutely.
If he sees 40-plus shots, he might end up having a dangerous game.
You were exactly right about that in the pregame. Kudos.
Cameron Wright to take the face-off for Utah against A.J. White. White's outstanding in the face-off circle, and the Steelheads win the draws. Register feeds over to Darren Brady, takes a righty shot, and it goes wide. As Register, left point, feeds it across to Brady. Now it's the left side for Spandenbergs. Now to Register. Matt skates to his right. He'll fire a lefty wrist shot, and it's blocked by the glove of Parikh. Rolls towards the right side as he still had spin it around the board. Spandenbergs couldn't keep it in. Register has to race deep in his own zone to get it as Cameron Wright's chasing after him. Puck stays in the corner. Register gets it. He'll feed it out towards Kawaguchi. He'll get a pass to the right side. Steelheads dump it in as Bryson Martin gathers it behind Parikh's net. Feeds it back out to center ice where the Steelheads regather it. Matt Register with maybe the longest stick in the league loses the puck. Grizzlies have it, and Andrew Nilsson will sail it down towards the Steelhead zone as both teams make a line change about halfway through the Steelhead second power play of the game.
And I'll tell you, look, Andrew Nielsen's getting a big look tonight. He is playing on special teams, and he was that top blue line guy as well.
Steelheads cross center ice and dump it in as Kudla looking after it, but Martin gets the puck. He'll feed it out to Nilsson. Nilsson with a cross ice pass to Taryn Pfizer. Pfizer crosses center ice, gets knocked down. No penalty on the play as Betts over on the right side, battling with Idaho. Steelheads get it as Betts retreats defensively. Ty Pelton Bice, B-Y-C-E his last name, as Steelheads cross center ice. Idaho, Miller tries to feed it across. It's picked off by Pfizer. What an amazing shift Taryn Pfizer has had, and he'll clear the puck out.
Great job being calm by Taryn Pfizer. Has had a really good camp, so much so that they've talked about him daily in camp, the coaches have. So good shift for him for sure.
Dawson Bardo gets it out of his zone, crosses center ice on the left side, spins it around the boards. Zach Walker spins it back around as Becker chasing after it. Near side, Becker delivers a hit as Stone's in the area. Over towards the corner as the power play is over for Idaho. Out of the box, all they were looking for Raby at neutral ice. The pass is behind him, and it turns into an icing for the Grizzlies with 2:05 left in the first period. Utah leads 1-0 on Dakota Raby's power play goal.
Boy, if you can get Raby sprung out of the box there, he is just lightning fast. Now, of course, you have to try that there, but it's going to cost you a face-off in your own zone. But a really good shift there. Ryan Kanasowicz, I think, really is high on Taryn Pfizer. And I think you hit the nail on the head. He had a phenomenal kill there.
Steelheads win the offensive zone draw. Over to the high slot. Shot saved by Parikh. Puck rolls towards the left point. Utah gets it. Jordan Stone will feed it out to center ice. Dakota Raby will dump it in from center ice. Rolls towards Jake Kupski, who covers up, and the Grizzlies will get an offensive zone draw out of it. 1:52 left in the first.
1-0 Utah, and I'll tell you, again, you can see, I think, I don't know what you think, Tyson, but I think we can see this speed that the Utah Grizzlies employ, shift after shift, line after line. The speed and intensity that the front line of this team plays with is really impacting Idaho tonight.
Draw in the right circle. Christian Simeone will take it. He wins it as Joey Strada stops in the corner. Strada played for 3 different SPHL teams last year. Over to Kolatarchi. Shot saved by Kupski. Kolatarchi was the Grizzlies' unsung hero last season, playing both forward and a defensive role. As Idaho gathers it, they cross center ice. Steelheads skate down the middle. Becker feeds it to Keller. Right side, he'll take a shot and it deflects off the stick and goes out of play off the protective netting with 1:32 left in the first.
Kolatarchi getting into it there, as he is a guy in the middle of everything. Him and Jack Becker having a disagreement. And I'll tell you, I said to you at practice the other morning, Kolatarchi's had a really good camp. I think he looks like a much more polished hockey player. But it's that moment right there that you love so much, because he's a guy, again, he's going to have to earn every single shift he gets. He is not going to be a top-line guy, but he's that kind of guy that you don't mind having on your third or fourth line. He's that kind of guy who's not going to kill you, and he's an instigator. I love that about his game.
Draw in the right circle. A.J. White will take it against Keaton Jamison. Utah wins the faceoff as Clermont skates around his net. Gets over to Cameron Wright. One-touch pass. Deflects off Darren Brady as the Steelheads cross center ice, but Utah gets it. James Shearer will dump it into the right side. Shearer was outstanding in the final month of the regular season after a good college career with the University of Calgary. As Kawaguchi skates around the net with Clermont shadowing him. He'll feed it over to Matt Register, who skates in right side, backhand shot, saved by Parikh. Utah gets the rebound as they'll bounce it off the near boards. As Cameron Wright, big-time collision with A.J. White. It's White that goes down. Steelheads have the puck in their own zone as they feed it over to Matt Register in the right corner, as we've got less than 1 minute left in the first period. As Register behind his net, that brings back memories of a game he played in Allen. I might have to tell you the story during the intermission. As Register, we'll throw it over to the near side. Grizzlies fans know what I'm talking about as the Steelheads get it over to Miller. He dumps it in, but he dumped it in from his own zone, and that will create an icing. Here was the story with Register. It was a game 2 years ago in the 2020-21 season. Matt Register, late in regulation. It's like 20 seconds left. Game is tied. He stands behind his own net for 20 seconds, and then with about 2 seconds left, lifts the puck into the seats. Delay of game penalty. Grizzlies got a power play. They ended up scoring on that power play to win the game in OT against Allen back when Register was a member of the Americans. As Idaho wins the faceoff, they lift it out to center ice. Bouncing puck. Utah will throw it over towards the bench area at center ice. As Nielsen tried to shovel it ahead, Idaho dumps it in. Parikh stays in front of his net as Bryson Martin runs after it. He'll spin it over to the far boards. Grizzlies throw a pass to the center ice logo. Good poke check by Utah. That's Taryn Pfizer again, who's about as good defensively as he is offensively. Pfizer loses the puck near the bench, and Miller dumps it in. Jade's his first name, Jade. Less than 10 seconds left in the first period as Nielsen crosses center ice. He looks to center it. Steelheads deflect it, and it hits off the stick and goes out of play as a fan gets a souvenir right at the end of the first period. Are they going to put some time on the clock? No, it doesn't look like they will, although the referee is talking it over with the linesman. If they don't add some time, and it looks like they won't, because after all, it's preseason, we will head to the dressing room. Grizzlies lead 1-0 as Dakota Raby scored a power play goal. Utah's penalty kill was 2 for 2. To me, Taryn Pfizer defensively and what he did on the Grizzlies' second penalty kill really stood out. And Dakota Raby, late in the Grizzlies' power plays. Utah obviously spending a lot of this preseason trying to develop their power play.
Oh, yes.
Raby comes through late in the power play on a good centering pass.
Well, I think the other thing that I'm seeing here is I don't think there's any doubt that the conditioning and the speed that you are watching the Utah Grizzlies play with is starting to bother Idaho. The last 10 minutes of that period, it was very clear that the Utah Grizzlies are just in better shape. I mean, they are a very well-oiled machine. They're a team that has worked really hard to a man. As we've gone through training camp here to a man, we have absolutely seen that the Utah Grizzlies really worked on their conditioning. Everyone talked about it. And they are in far superior shape. I mean, I don't know that I've ever seen a hockey team condition more than we've seen this Utah Grizzlies team come into camp ready to play. And if I'm Ryan Kanasowicz and Jared Pike, the assistant coach of this team, you've got to be really happy with the pace. Now, you've also got to be really happy with the play of Lucas Parikh. Your brand new goaltender tonight has kept Idaho off the score sheet, and he has done it at times in spectacular fashion. And that's why you lead 1-0 after one period here in Idaho as we open up the preseason. And again, If you are watching us tonight, make sure that you come and say hello to us tomorrow at the Weber County Ice Sheet, as Game 2 of this series and the preseason will be in Ogden. And tomorrow night, you are going to see the 2022-2023 debut of Ben Tardiff and Tyler Penner, and those are two big names. I think tomorrow night's going to be a fantastic game. But give me your highlights. What are the things that stood out to you, Tyson Whiting, after one period here in Idaho?
Well, I think Lucas Preek certainly stood out to me, and he was outstanding for Rapid City, and he was a big part as to why they finished in second place in the Mountain Division. And he's only 21 years old, former third-round pick of the LA Kings back in 2019. And he bailed the Grizzlies out on a couple of occasions. I was also interested in seeing some of the new players, and we'll get to some of the new players later on in the intermission. Bryson Martin, Andrew Nilsson. You can tell that Martin's got a lot of pro experience. This is his 8th different team in this league, so he's really made the rounds. Yeah. But you think about a guy, especially in his own zone, has made good decisions, and really what the Grizzlies want to do. I know when Tegan Zahn was with the Grizzlies as an assistant, he wanted the defenseman to make quick decisions. And I know Jared Pike's the same way. I saw Martin make quick decisions with the puck. It was very assertive. You see James Shearer do the same thing. And, Nilsson, even though he took the penalty early in the game, Nilsson's that kind of guy that he's going to make an impact. His size and his presence, he's going to make an impact. We saw it in the first half of last season, and that happened once again. And the Grizzlies are without a couple good defensemen, is obviously in the preseason. Some guy's going to sit out. Connor McDonald, who is about as solid as they come, he's not in there. And I think the story at camp, we'll get to him in a little while. Victor Bartley. You talk about quite the story. Victor Bartley is somebody that could make an impact on the Grizzlies.
As Charlene Feller wants to know if Victor Bartley is playing tonight.
No, he's not in the lineup tonight. I'm not sure about tomorrow.
He's got some things he's working on, but yeah, I had a really long conversation with Vic the other day. He can't wait to get on the ice with this Utah Grizzlies team. Remember, he was a teammate of Ryan Kanasewicz's way back in the day. But
that was a while ago.
Yeah, Charlene. No, he's not playing tonight, Charlene, but he will be with the Utah Grizzlies. So he is here in the long run. But I think the other interesting point about a guy like Vic Bartley is, I think we're seeing an interesting mix on the blue line. You talked about Andrew Nilsson. Do you like what you saw from Andrew in that period?
Yeah, it was just about what I saw from Andrew in the first half of last season. You talk about a guy at 6'4", and you see Matt Register on the other side, 6'3", with the incredibly long stick. You're going to need some size in the blue line, and Andrew Nilsson brings that. Is he going to take a penalty here and there? Yeah, that's going to happen just because you play a physical brand of hockey, and you're 6'4" and the other guy's maybe 5'10". So when
right.
You're trying to hit him in the chest, you end up hitting him up high. It happens sometimes.
Yeah, and I
would watch out for him on the power play, because I think when you saw Pfizer and Nilsson, Raby ended up with a goal, but I could end up seeing Nilsson kind of play the type of role that Dastu had, where you sit him over in one of the circles, and Dastu like the right side. Nilsson, has been hanging out on the right side as well.
Yeah.
You get it up top to somebody like a Tardiff or a Pfizer, feed it over to Nilsson, and that one-timer's lethal. If he plays the full season, he could end up with 15 to 20 goals.
I don't think there's any doubt about that, but Andrew's got to play smart hockey, and I think that will come, because you're not going to be on Ryan Kanasewicz's team, and you're not going to be on Jared Pike's team without getting that kind of critique. And I think that's one of the things we saw last year. Every one of these guys that was here last year improved dramatically as the season went on. I think it is absolutely one of those situations where guys like Victor Bartley can make a big difference for a guy like an Andrew Nilsson, because there's nothing. Victor Bartley has played all over the world. He's played 120 games in the NHL. There's nothing he hasn't seen. And when he sees something, he's going to say something. So I think that's part of that leadership. But I think Taryn Pfizer is absolutely, if you don't know Taryn Pfizer, if he's not a guy you've seen play much hockey, when you come out to the Maverik Center a week from tonight, by the way, 1 week from tonight, we kick off the season again right here on YouTube. Make sure you search for the Utah Grizzlies on YouTube. Click that subscribe button, click that bell so that you know when we're live. Next Friday night at the Maverik Center, it's opening night. Rapid City's in town, and I think you're going to see this season, one of the hallmarks of this Utah Grizzlies team is going to be solid blue line play, because they're super deep back there.
Here we got some new good stuff with the pre- and post-game show. We'll get to that in the second intermission. You mentioned Pfizer played with the Victoria Royals of the WHL for 5 seasons. Really had a breakout campaign last year, 51 points in 35 games. With the Grizzlies in the playoffs, at 15 points in 18 games, 4 goals and 11 assists. So Pfizer's going to have a big year. He's not in the lineup tonight, but I've really liked what I've seen from Zach Sekos. Maybe we'll see him tomorrow, but Sekos has had a really good camp. He had just about the same postseason as Pfizer's. I think those guys were on the same line for that playoff run. Sekos has great speed, and it's really not the speed, it's the change of direction. He changes direction so quickly, and he's a smart hockey player. Really makes the right pass when he needs to, and when he needs to score goals, he can do that as well.
Yeah, I think again, it's no secret who Ryan Kanasowicz is looking for. He's looking for fast guys that play smart hockey, and I absolutely think you're seeing that. And I think, again, Dakota Ravy is a really interesting point of conversation in those terms. He is really fast, right? But sometimes he believes too much in that speed, and I again think he's a guy that you're going to see grow and develop exponentially as this season goes on. And I think, here on YouTube, I think what you're going to hear us talk about a lot, and what you're going to see in our practice reports and in our media day stuff, is there's a lot of personality on this team. And if you don't like Dakota Ravy as a person, there's something wrong with you, because he is a really nice guy. He is a get-along guy. He is a great personality. He's easily got the best hair on the club, in my opinion. I don't know about you. Well, next to you, Tyson, because you have the best hair on the club. But
believe it or not, over the last couple of months, it's starting to turn gray.
Really?
Yeah, my hair's turning gray. You've seen on the sides. That's a little bit disconcerting.
I have no gray hair. None. Zero. Mainly because it's all falling out.
Oh, the camera. That's right, because it is falling out. If you want to know why they're showing us during the game, Flow Sports got the exclusive video stream. If you want to watch the game, I think it's on Flow Sports tonight, and you can see all this great action. Flow Sports is certainly worth it. I know that Flow Sports is not cheap, but you watch all 72 games of the Grizzlies, but you can also watch games of every team in the league. So if the Grizzlies have an upcoming opponent, and say Tulsa plays on a Tuesday and the Grizzlies play them on Friday, you can watch the Oilers play on Tuesday. It's great to watch all the action across the ECHL. Get Flow Sports. It's definitely worth it. And, when you get Flow Hockey, people think about, I'm going to get it for the Grizzlies games. Don't forget, you can get Flow Football, Flow Wrestling, all the flows with the Flow Sports subscription.
Yeah, I would tell you that there is, in my opinion, I would tell you that there is no better place ever to get your Utah Grizzlies hockey content than right here on YouTube. Make sure you hit subscribe. But Flow is great as well. As we are in the first intermission here, presented by Siegfried and Jensen. Since 1990, Siegfried and Jensen have been your choice for injury attorneys. And they present Utah Grizzlies intermission here tonight in Idaho at the Idaho Central Arena. I'm Tim Montemayor along with Tyson Whiting. As we open the preseason with the Utah Grizzlies and the Idaho Steelheads. Again, I want to remind you, tomorrow night in Ogden, that's where you're going to get your first chance in person to see the Utah Grizzlies on the ice. Game 2. And I'm really interested to see what that lineup tomorrow night is. Is there anything that surprised you in this lineup tonight in the first period?
Not really. I mean, it's a preseason, so I think Ryan Kanasowicz wants to look at some things. I think he wants to look at guys like Keaton Jamison, who really made an impression late in the regular season. He's got him on a second line and taking some important face-offs with the Grizzlies. Kyle Betts is going to be an important face-off guy. And remember, Tyler Penner, he won about, I wish I knew the exact percentage. Unfortunately, they don't really keep that, the face-off percentages. But I would guess he probably won about 60 to 65% of the face-offs
I would guess so,
he had last season.
Yeah.
So between all those guys, I think, Kanasowicz wants to see some things. I think he also wants to see the new guys because, after all, a lot of these players have previous Grizzlies experience. And you think about some of the new guys. I was excited to see Cameron Wright tonight, the guy who had a distinguished college career, 4 years at Bowling Green and then this past year at Denver. And he's a big, he's a pretty tall guy, 6'2", with longer arms. And I saw him, with a couple good hustle plays. I think, like a lot of first-year pros, it might take him about a month or two to really get adjusted to the pro game. I've seen it over many years where you get a guy coming in from juniors or coming in from college, and it does take a little bit of an adjustment period. And I think Cameron Wright right now is going through that adjustment period.
Oh, certainly.
But you get him open in the offensive zone, you get him some room to shoot, and I'm really excited to see what he's able to do when he's got an open shot, because that goal-scoring prowess at Denver and Bowling Green, I think that can certainly translate to this level.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things where you see that I'm a firm believer, in my opinion anyway, I'm a firm believer that when you look at the way that they killed those penalties, and you look at the tenacity with which they killed those penalties, I think Ryan Kanasowicz is going to be very happy with that. I think that when you also, the other thing that I would tell you is when you look at the way that they wore out Utah, or Idaho, excuse me, the way that the Utah Grizzlies wore out Idaho in the second half of that period, I think you have to be really happy with the way that they have gotten through camp these first 4 days. And I think the one thing that you can see certainly on a regular basis is that I just think they're going to be faster and they're going to be more well-conditioned than their opponent. And I think that's why they're going to win as many games as they are. I think they really looked good in that form in the first period.
I mentioned Cameron Wright, the new guy. Cam Strong, he goes by Cam. Cameron Wright goes by Cameron. But Cam Strong, who's a native of Billings, Montana, last season played in 19 games with the Reading Royals, had 4 goals and 5 assists, and was a +1. In 21 games with South Carolina, he had 4 goals and 6 assists, and was a +5. And keep in mind, he was a +5 on a team that I think finished near the bottom of the standings in South Carolina. So Cam Strong looks like he's going to be one of those glue guys for the Grizzlies. Somebody that, you think about what you see on the stat sheet, I think he's going to be one of those guys. You're going to see him with a key poke check from here or there. And I think that, when you need a big goal, I think every now and then Cam Strong can provide that. He's in his second season in this league. 2 years ago, he was actually a teammate of Tyler Penner's with the Birmingham Bulls.
That's right, yeah.
So I'm interested in seeing Cam Strong as this game progresses. It seemed like he saw a little bit of time, but we'll see if he ends up emerging in the final 2 periods. It's kind of funny when you think about the new guys. Usually in the preseason game, they're all new guys, but really it's those 3. Joey Strada, who's on a tryout deal. Strada made a couple nice plays for Utah. He's not very big. He's listed about 5'4" and 147 pounds. But
he's got an uphill battle to make it.
That third line, I thought did a pretty good job. Strada was paired up there with Colatarchi a little bit. And, Strada did some things. I really liked what Colatarchi did away from the puck. You're going to get a good effort from every night. And I think there was a reason why he ended up winning the Grizzlies Unsung Hero Award. Is he's just one of those guys that, whatever the team needs, he's there to do. If somebody needs to go get the coffee pregame, Colatarchi's your man. You need somebody to go get Buffalo Wild Wings, he's your guy. You need somebody to go outside and hold up a sign and sell tickets, guess what? Colatarchi's available.
Yeah, I think that I'm really intrigued to see what his fate here is. How much ice time he gets. What does that look like? What rotations is Ryan Kanasowicz going to use? And I think that's very much up in the air. I think he told me the other day, point blank, we have some really difficult decisions to make. It's not easy, to be Ryan Kanasowicz and Jared Pike when you have this depth up front and on that blue line that you have. I mean, Colatarchi's an interesting guy because he can play forward. He can play D-man. You look at Pouncey as well. Pouncey's a guy that is a glue guy. He's a locker room guy. He's a very popular guy with his teammates. But is he a guy that you're going to give regular shifts that he can count on? Well, maybe not. I don't know. Does he dress every night? Maybe not. But you have enough talent where you have these difficult decisions to make. And you know this as well as I do. This is a league that has a lot of turnover in it. It's a turnstile league. And again, when you have guys the quality of a Ben Tardiff, a Penner, again, a Klerman, who I think is going to get a look at the next level. When you have that kind of quality, you have got to always have depth because you don't know from one day to the next what's going to happen. You could get a phone call. You can show up at the rink at 10 o'clock, go through practice, and after practice, you get a phone call, hey, we need Klerman in Colorado. And then all of a sudden, he's gone. There's got to be somebody to backfill that.
Pouncey would get good playing time on a bad team, but a team like the Grizzlies, they're as deep defensively. It might be a little bit of a struggle night in and night out to make the lineup. But when he was in there last year, he certainly played well, 3 goals and 4 assists. And especially in the middle of the season when he was getting consistent playing time, you could see him gain confidence and play pretty well. Now, I apologize because we never did get the detail of the goal. Dakota Raby on the power play, 12-17 in. Nate Klerman and Keaton Jamison with the assist. Utah went 1 for 1 on the power play. Idaho is 0 for 2. Grizzlies did a good job, Taryn Pfizer in particular, on the penalty kill. And when you see Dylan Fitz this season, in the postseason, Dylan Fitz was an amazing penalty killing forward, kind of like what Travis Barron was to the Grizzlies a couple of years ago. Raby led the team with 2 shots. He's the only one to have more than 1 shot in the period. Bryson Martin, Cameron Wright, Simeone, Nielsen, and Colatarchi each had 1 shot for Utah. For Idaho, Nicholas Canati had 2 shots. So did Jordan Timmons and Willie Nerum. Those 3 guys had 2 shots. And then 5 others had 1 shot on goal. Jake Kupski, the Idaho goaltender, stopped 6 of 7, while Lucas Preek stopped all 11 he saw in the first period as both teams have hit the ice to start the second period. And we talk about guys that really stood out. I thought it was one of Jordan Stone's better periods in a Grizzlies uniform. His second season as a pro, fighting to make the club. And, you see a guy that throws his body around. He's one of the bigger members of the Grizzlies, one of the stronger Grizzlies players. And Jordan Stone knows that the role on his team might be the guy that, bangs the body around a little bit.
No, I don't think there's any doubt about that.
Wouldn't surprise me if he ends up dropping the gloves and really protecting the net sometime today. Who knows?
All right, after one period, it is the Utah Grizzlies 1, the Idaho Steelheads nothing. Don't go anywhere. 60 seconds away from hockey after this from Maverik.
When you pay with the Nitro card at Maverik, you always save 10 cents or more on fuel every gallon, every day. And you could save a whole lot more thanks to Nitro Best Price. Pick up a Nitro card and upgrade your Adventure Club account today.
Now we're about set to start the second period of play. Utah leads 1-0. Grizzlies will be skating from right to left as we see it from Idaho Central Arena. Your mind's eye, see it on YouTube. That's right, your mind's eye, see it on YouTube.
I'm sorry, did you say your mind's eye?
Well, I know YouTube's more of a video platform, and even though I'm not much of an artist, I'll try to paint you a picture. Flow Sports has the video feed all season long for the Grizzlies, and YouTube's got the audio feed. Johnny Walker will be out there to start the second period on the left wing. We'll see Kyle Betts take the face-off. And also starting the second period for the Grizzlies will be Taryn Pfizer, 2 defensemen, Bryson Martin and Andrew Nilsson.
No surprise to see Taryn Pfizer out there again. He's a guy, number 8 for your Utah Grizzlies, you're going to watch all season long. And another strong period coming up from Lucas Parikh. Loved what he did in the first.
My description of the game is usually a little bit better than this, but I got about 4 or 5 months of rust that I've got to lift off.
You're doing great.
Off the center ice. Kyle Betts takes it, and he wins it. It goes past Bryson Martin deep in the Grizzly zone as Utah skates from right to left. Martin ahead to Pfizer. Pfizer over to Betts. Betts skates out of his zone. Good poke check by Zach Walker as it goes back to Martin. He'll feed it across to Andrew Nilsson, wearing number 44. Last year he was 40. Grizzlies out towards Betts, but he couldn't reach it. Matt Register reaches everything with that long stick. Will bounce it off his own backboard. Darren Brady gets it. I tried to feed it ahead. Utah picks it off. Grizz looking for Johnny Walker. He gets cut off by Walker. Zach Walker, that is, as the Steelheads gain the offensive line. Left side shot, and it goes wide of the mark as Preek got his glove out. The puck bounced off the boards. Register will peel back into his own zone. Matt Register got a couple Kelly Cups with Colorado back in 2017 and 2018. He'll feed it from blue line to blue line as Vandenbergs has it bounce off his stick. Puck goes back to center ice. Register will feed it off the near boards. Patrick Kudla gets it as he'll skate behind Jake Kupski's net. We might end up seeing the backup, Remy Poirier, later on as Register gets it back as he'll lift it high into the air, bouncing puck towards the Utah blue line. And the Steelheads enter. Vandenberg throws it to the corner. A.J. White gets hit. Good job by Keaton Jamison boxing him out. He rolls it towards the left point. Steelheads keep it in. Left point shot goes high off the glass over the head of Parikh as the Steelheads get it poked away by Nate Klorman. And that was Jordan Kawaguchi trying to skate in. Kawaguchi wearing number 77 as Idaho gets around James Shearer. White tries to feed the right circle. Utah picks it off. Grizzlies skate out towards neutral ice. Cameron Wright wearing number 15 will knock it ahead. Bounced off the stick of Keaton Jamison. Idaho gets it back as they'll skate behind Kupski's net. Station there as the Grizzlies make a line change. Miller enters the ice for Idaho, number 26, as Idaho surveys. Dawson Bardo, number 51. He's still behind his net. He'll skate towards his left. Now he'll skate down the middle as he's still in his own zone. Bardo surveys, throws out to center ice, bounces off the stick of Wade Murphy. Grizzlies running towards the Steelheads bench. Big collision as Miller and Robinson for Utah collides. As Kyle Pouncey skates behind Lucas Parikh as Neil Robinson enters the ice. Pouncey, second year with the Grizzlies. He skates down the middle, still in his own zone. Gets it over to Raby, across the center ice right side. Raby gets it poked away as Idaho will gather it. Steelheads had a pass bounce off of Miller's stick. Miller regathers it center ice near the penalty box area. His pass is picked off by Robinson as the Grizzlies will get it over to the right corner. Utah skating from right to left, 17-27 and counting left in the second. Utah leads 1-0. Grizzlies over to the right side. Raby dumps it in. Simeone chasing after it, but Idaho gets there first. Cody Heiskanen We'll throw it out to center ice number 74. And now the Steelheads enter the zone. Willie Neerum, left side shot, saved by Preek. And the puck ends up going through the slot and all the way towards Jake Kupski as the Grizzlies were able to successfully clear it out. Idaho throws a pass halfway across the ice. Canale gets it poked away. Betts gets it to the right side. Utah gets it, but they're offside as Joey Strada entered before the puck.
Well, you really want to see that puck get in deep. If you're the Utah Grizzlies, as soon as you get over that red line, I think you'd really rather not play with it in traffic. Get that puck behind the Idaho net. 9 times out of 10, that's a positive result. And again, we see a lot of dilly-dally through the neutral zone.
Idaho wins the neutral zone draw as they get it over to Willie Neerum. He crosses center ice wearing number 29 and lifts it to the right corner as the puck rolls around the boards. Preek cuts it off behind his net. Now Kolatarchi. I looked for a pass, but it bounced off the Steelhead onto Andrew Nilsson. He's in the Grizzly zone. He gets blasted by Timmons as Utah will feed it across. Martin gets it spun around. Register kept it in left side. Idaho centers it, but the only guy there was Andrew Nilsson. Problem for the Steelheads. He plays for Utah. Over to Joey Strada at center ice, and Strada dumps it in. Strada played with 3 different SPHL teams last season. Idaho gets it as Utah makes a full line change. Cam Strong out there, number 26, as Idaho gets it over to Jack Becker, number 27. Becker skates to his left. He'll feed it to Grizzlies territory as Keller couldn't handle it. Now the puck battles towards neutral ice. Grizzlies get it with Cam Strong. Strong over to the right side, gains the line, gets it poked away as Idaho regathers it. Walker gets it taken away by Strong. Strong, right point, feeds it across to Shearer. James, he'll fire a shot. Oh, he was looking for a redirection out in front. Puck in the slot as Utah looked for a shot. Right had it blocked away. Becker battles with Wright in the corner. Register over there as well. Register, another Grizzly hacking away. Utah gets it. Jamison looks to center it out in front. Too many bodies as Idaho pokes it away. Register gets the puck. He'll get it to Walker at center ice. Looks like Walker sporting a sweet-looking beard. And so he'll feed it over to the right side. Now Keller with a shot. Saved by Preek. Idaho makes a change as Utah has the puck deep in their own zone. 15:30 and counting left in the second. Utah leads 1-0. Grizzlies have taken 3 shots here in the second period, or 1 shot. Idaho's yet to take 1. Now the Steelheads get it to the right side. Shot saved by Preek. As a turnover in the neutral zone, and Patrick Kudla had a good chance. Kudla wearing number 47, but Preek makes his 12th save of the game.
And again, you saw a late change. Keaton Jamison was trying to get off the ice. Johnny Walker falls down. It leads to a golden opportunity. But again, good old number 35, Lucas Preek for your Utah Grizzlies, answers the call. He has a nice shutout working 5 minutes into the second.
Draw in the right circle. Steelheads win the offensive zone face-off as Idaho skates towards the right point. Svanenberg spins it around. Svanenberg, a native of Latvia, as White gets it back over to the right side around the net, as all looking for the wraparound was Kawagachi, and Grizzlies poking out to center ice. Taron Pfizer, 1-on-2, gains the line. He stops just outside the left circle. As Pfizer skates towards the point, drops it off for Nielsen. Nielsen battling with Kudla. Nielsen gets it over towards Betts. Now Nielsen gets it back near the boards. He feeds it out in front to the goal line for Walker. Oh, Walker tried to find Pfizer. The pass was wide and goes to the right point. Martin spins it around. Walker in the area battling. Walker tried to kick it over towards the far corner. Puck ends up back towards the near side. Steelheads get it as A.J. White crosses center ice, dumps it in. Preek probably could have let that go as White might have not crossed center ice. Could have been icing as the Grizzlies have the puck deep in their own zone. Steelheads make a line change. 5.5 minutes into the second period. As over to the right side, Raby has it. Dakota avoids a check and still feed it to center ice. It hit off the skate of Martin. Now Simeone skates towards the left corner as the Grizzlies gain the line. Simeone gets held up. Raby, I tried to center it, didn't get anything on it. As Canale gets it, he'll throw it over towards Murphy. Murphy avoids a check of Robinson, dumps it into the corners. Murphy delivers a hit of Kyle Pouncey. Puck in the corner as Murphy trying to locate it. As he feeds over to the right point, but couldn't keep it in, was number 74, Cody Heiskanen. Heiskanen has to run deep in his own zone to get it. As we're less than 14 minutes left in the second period, as Idaho feeds a blue line to blue line pass, doesn't connect. Preek behind his net gets over to Pouncey. Pouncey over towards Joey Strada wearing number 6. Out to Simeone. Now Robinson deflects it over towards the penalty box area. Idaho feeds it into the Grizzly zone, but the only guy there was Pouncey. Kyle will bounce it off the near boards, gets to neutral ice as Utah has it with Simeone. Simeone tries to get around near him. We'll feed it over to Stone. Now to Pouncey. His action's a little bit rough and ragged here in the second. Over towards Strada. As Strada deflects it off his stick. Now at the Idaho blue line. Steelheads gather it. It's registered over to Brady. Brady feeds the blue line to blue line pass to Stone, who gets it. Now we got the fight as Keller and Stone get in a fight. Stone holds up as Keller. One guy still got his stick, and Keller gets the two lifts and knocks down Stone.
Oh, boy, a huge left hand by Keller drops Stone. Wow, you don't see that very often, a one-punch knockout. As his Grizzly teammates will gather around. Big number 19, Jordan Stone, who took a huge left. Wow, you don't see that often. But what was this again? This is a second period as the Grizzlies lead 1-0. And, I mean, you could absolutely see that they were looking to go. Colton Keller was absolutely looking for Jordan Stone, and just a huge left hand. But the thing that stands out to you there is, in the second period, the Grizzlies have a long change, and they were not able to get off the ice, and so you saw some heavy legs. You saw D-men that were out there a little longer than you would like. It leads to some reaching. It leads to some chucking, and that's a very difficult way to make a living. You know, like, you need to be efficient. In these second period, and I know it sounds very simplistic, in this second period, you have to get pucks in and you have to get pucks out. You have to be quick. And one of the things I think we've seen that's happened in this second period is the Grizzlies have not been fast in the first 7 minutes. You've not been fast through the neutral zone. And it's giving Idaho a chance to knock down some passes, to create turnovers and create that momentum that allows you to get those shots on goal, that allows you to run into guys. And frankly, you just got to play faster if you're the Grizzlies.
Both teams have one shot here in the second period. Utah leads 1-0, 13:01 left in the second. That's not the first time Colton Keller has fought a Grizzly. He absolutely didn't mean to, but he's the one that knocked out Taylor Crunk in a game last season at Maverik Center at center ice.
Yeah.
Draw's going to be in the Steelhead zone. Jamison will take it. Cameron Wright's out there on the right wing. Cam Strong behind Jamison. Two defensemen are Shearer and Clermont. Zach Walker with a nice beard and long hair. He's in the right wing. Taking the face-off is Jack Becker. Draw won by the Grizzlies, right with a shot that's blocked by Register. As both guys get 5 for fighting, we play 5-on-5 as Zach Walker gets it across the center ice. Walker veers off to the left as he stops. The Grizzlies did a great job protecting the blue line. Pass the Register, doesn't connect. Now skating against Cameron Wright. He'll take a shot. On it goes just wide as he probably skated a little bit too close to Kupski. Now Wright gets it back. Left side. He'll take a shot. Oh, he was looking for the corner and just missed. Now Clermont on the right side. Gets it to Cam Strong. Strong to Jamison. Strong went after the puck because he didn't throw it hard enough. As now the Grizzlies get it over to Cameron Wright. Left side shot. On it gets blocked by Brady. As Shearer will bounce it off the boards. Right side. Utah's up 1-0 and threatening. Nate Clermont, right side with plenty of room. He's being shadowed by Becker. Clermont skates towards his left. He'll feed it to the circle for Wright. All looking back for Clermont. Rolls towards right eye. Feeds it out in front. Backhand shot by Jamison goes wide. Now Cam Strong in the corner. Gets it to Wright. Wright spins it back around. Bryson Martin surveys. Throws it back to Wright behind his net. That's the best shift that Wright's played as he stays on the ice. Puck rolls around the boards. Wright gets it in the left side. Cameron Wright over to Simeone. Simeone over to Raby as Wright gets off the ice. Great shift by Wright. Raby on the right side feeds it across to Shearer. Left point. Shot. I got redirected by Simeone. Stick and goes wide. Now right side. Raby gets pushed by Becker. Those guys were college teammates at Michigan. As both guys battled, the Michigan men. Over to Simeone as Utah won that one-on-one battle. Now to Nilsson, who fakes a shot. Throws it towards Martin. Now Raby in the high slot. He'll get it to Nilsson. Left side. Nilsson, I tried to feed it out in front. Pass didn't connect. Great idea as Martin gets it. Bryson Martin winds and fires. Oh, and that gets blocked as it hits Simeone. Simeone right in front of the crease on two knees as he gets back on his feet slowly. Idaho finally clears the zone. Great effort by the Grizzlies, but just couldn't get one past Kupski. Still heads under the offensive zone as Jack Becker on the right side. Stops near the boards. He'll get it over to Dawson Bardo. Bardo avoids Betts. He takes a shot and Nilsson blocks it. Utah across the center ice. Neil Robinson gains the line, dumps it in. Kupski behind his net. As Bardo avoids a check as he spins around. As Neil Robinson was looking to place a hit. Fans like that. It's Vandenberg's. 3-on-2. Over to A.J. White. He skates towards the left. Back to Vandenberg's backhand shot. He hits a pipe. All the fans think it was a goal. The official did not signal a goal. We play on. Now the official's got to stop play. They're going to look at it. It's going to be a video replay. Looked like it might have hit the pipe, but Spangenberg's pretty much had an open net there and hit the pipe. The fans and the goal horn went off, but the official who was right on the play signaled no goal. The referee tonight is Jake Jackson.
Absolutely not a goal. That hit the left post, and Parikh had been deked to his hindquarters, if you will, leaving an empty net, and it was a simple backhander. No, absolutely not a goal. Looking at the replay, that looked like that hit that left post. Iron unkind.
Oh, thank you, Tim Brando.
We'll see. Exactly right. We'll see. The officials are looking at it. You need a better angle, and let's see. Here they come. What's the call going to be? They're going to go and talk to the goal judge here.
The goal judge,
no goal. He didn't, and that's what I say. Like, he never signaled goal. I thought it was very clear from our vantage point above the ice here that puck hit the post. That's absolutely the right call. It remains 1-0 Utah. 10:27 to go in the second period, so just about halfway home. That was the best period of sustained pressure I think we've seen from the Grizzlies, and it all started with good forechecking. Tyson, I thought that was a key there.
Neutral zone draws. Jake Jackson talking with both coaches. I mean, with all the commotion and the goal horn going off, he had to stop play and take a look at it, but it was pretty clear it was no goal as Idaho wins the faceoff. Bardo on the right side wearing number 51, gains the line, dumps it to the corner as Penner boxes out A.J. White. Penner in the corner. It gets to White. White skates around the net. Tries to feed it out in front and hit off a stick. Rolls towards Spangenberg. Spangenberg's kicking himself after missing that open net. Bardo right point. Shot and it gets blocked off the stick of Johnny Walker. Idaho. Pelton Bice looked to center it. It bounced off a Walker stick. Now to the left point. Still had spin it around. Parikh cuts it off behind his net. As Parikh will get back to his crease. Utah gathers it in the left circle, and they skate from right to left. Utah crosses center ice. Pfizer crosses center and dumps it in. Kupski behind his net. Will get it over to the corner for Patrick Kudla, wearing number 47. Kudla played with Slovakia and the Czech Republic for the last 4 years. As Idaho crosses center ice, dumps it in. As Parikh over to the left side, Keaton Jamison. Jamison has a bounce off a skate and flies in the air, and Parikh, about waist high, makes a catch and makes the save with 9:27 left in the second period. There's a timeout on the ice, and we'll take one as well. Halfway through the scheduled 60 minutes, Utah leads 1-0 as Dakota Raby scored a power play goal 12-17 into the first. You're listening to the Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Maverik's new bean-to-cup machines always deliver a freshly ground cup of coffee on demand, so you can enjoy any of our premium roasts at their best, day or night, hot or iced. Enjoy a fresh cup today.
It's the first of 2 preseason games. Don't forget tomorrow night at the Weber County Ice Sheet, the Grizzlies and Steelheads will play the second game of a 2-game series and the second game of a doubleheader. The Ogden Mustangs will take on the Idaho Falls Spud Kings at about 3 o'clock.
By the way, Tyson, big shout out to William Welch, who says it's impressive watching you live.
There's not, I wish there'd be a woman that would say that, but there's nothing. Never mind.
Clearly, the Institute for the Blind is piping in the audio tonight. No, I'm kidding.
No, I actually did get an award from the Institute of the Blind. They thought I looked good. Oh, boy.
Come on, Tyson.
Draw's going to be in the Grizzlies zone halfway through the scheduled 60 minutes. It is different having the camera right there as everybody's watching on YouTube and also watching on Flow Sports as well. Draw's going to be in the Grizzlies zone, left side. And it's won by Utah as they skate around their own net. Feed it over to Cam Strong, who gets hit by Heiskanen. Grizzlies get it out towards center ice. Jamison gets bounced off the boards as Shearer dumps it in from Steelheads territory. Shearer back at the Steelheads blue line. Puck ends up rolling towards him and past him into the Grizzlies zone. Foot race. Nate Klerman's going to get there over Willie Neerum. Klerman up ahead to Cameron Wright. It tapped off his stick and goes into the Steelhead zone. Running after it is Heiskanen. Cody's his first name. He's got good size at 6'4" and 198. Heiskanen will feed it over to Neerum near the Steelheads bench, looking for Miller, and the Grizzlies poke it back out to center ice. Heiskanen over to Neerum, tried to dump it in, couldn't. Now he gets it back and does dump it in. Simeone was in the area. As the Grizzlies, James Shearer runs after it. Shearer was the captain of the Brandon Wheat Kings in the WHL a handful of years ago. He feeds it over to the far side, now to Simeone. Christian to the left side, crosses center ice, gets it to Raby. Raby dumps into the corner, gets around Brady. Now Raby gets hit by Walker. as Simeone skates towards the left side, now towards his right, feeds over to Nielsen, right side, back to Simeone, and bounced off this stick over towards neutral ice. Idaho gets it. Steelheads have a breakaway. Jack Becker skates in. Backhand shot, and it goes wide. Becker feeds over to the left side. Back to Matt Register on the right. Register skates towards the corner. Raby in the area. Register over to Becker. Becker's in the left circle. Feeds it up top for Walker. He'll take a righty shot, and it goes high off the glass as he was trying to go glove side on Parikh. Grizzlies bounce it over towards Raby in the corner, and Raby has it. He'll feed it to Joey Strada at center ice. Strada dumps it in as the Grizzlies quickly make a line change. Idaho made one of their own. Steelheads will throw it out to center ice for A.J. White, their captain. Fourth year he's been their captain, and his pass bounces off the skate of Kawaguchi. Now Kyle Betts gains the offensive line near side, gets boxed out by Darren Brady, who did a good job, as Kawaguchi gets hit by Johnny Walker. Puck ends up with Register. Matt Register has it in his own zone. He'll feed it out, and then Darren Brady will get it to center ice. Now the Steelheads scan the lines. Vandenbergs tried to find White cutting into the net, but the pass was wide. Taryn Pfizer has it on the right side, and he'll throw it ahead. Now Kyle Betts feeds it across off the boards for Walker. Johnny drops it off as Grizzlies skate to the corner. Pouncey over to Walker is now on the left side. While Walker looked for a centering pass, but it was picked off. Idaho crosses center ice. Kawaguchi gets it poked away. Betts gets it, and he'll throw it back in front of his net to Taryn Pfizer. 6:49 and counting left in the second period. Utah leads 1-0. Steelheads have outshot the Grizzlies 13-10, but Utah has the edge 3-2 on shots here in the second period. As Utah out to neutral ice, Jamison gets spun around at center ice by Wade Murphy and gets divorced from the puck. As Idaho towards center ice, Pelton Bice gets it poked away. Now Pfizer has it. He'll skate into his own zone. Throw a rink-wide pass that connects. Jamison, I tried to find the slot for Strong. Strong trying to locate it. Idaho gathers it. Blue line to blue line pass. Pelton Bice. He gets knocked down by Shearer. No call on the play as puck rolled towards Parikh, who clears it all the way out. It's going to be icing on the Grizzlies. Good pass by the Steelheads from blue line to blue line. The Grizzlies recovered in time.
Shearer absolutely plays the body there, knocks the offender down cleanly, which is the key there. But again, we got to talk about Lucas Parikh, the goaltender for your Utah Grizzlies, having a phenomenal night, stopping one breakaway there on his own. I mean, has just been Johnny on the spot. And a guy that's having himself a game is Taryn Pfizer. Again, we told you about that unbelievable diagonal pass across the ice for a Grizzlies opportunity.
Very few shots on both sides here in the second period, only 3 apiece. Utah wins the faceoff in their own zone as they get it out towards Strong. He'll get it to the Steelheads territory. Now Idaho has it. Cody Heiskanen up ahead to Miller. Miller gains the line, left side, skates to the circle, take a shot, saved by Parikh as it bounced off his glove. Utah gets the rebound. Grizzlies skate around the net. Now Cameron Wright, who's had a strong second period. Wright crosses center ice and dumps it in, but Idaho picked it off. Murphy, right side. He'll cross to the right circle, skate in, shot, saved by Parikh. Lucas holds on with 5:43 left in the second period.
Tell you what, that puck's got to get in deep. You cannot, and I know I keep saying this, and I don't mean to be redundant, but you cannot play soft in the neutral zone. And I think we're seeing that here tonight in Idaho. Again, 5:43 to go in the second. Grizzlies up 1-0 on Utah Grizzlies hockey, presented by Mountain Land Supply Company. But you cannot lollygag through the middle of the ice. The neutral zone, that area between the two blue lines with the big logo, you got to be crisp. You've got to be decisive. And when you get past that red line, that puck has got to go behind your opponent's net. Because when it doesn't, again, what happens here? You sort of have a 3-on-2, but it just gives the Idaho Steelheads all that momentum. But one thing that I think we're seeing now is the third and fourth line, the deeper forwards that we're seeing for the Utah Grizzlies, physical play. You're seeing more physical play out of this team, which was not something we saw on a regular basis last year. They were much more of a finesse team, in my opinion. But now you're seeing a little bit more size. You're seeing a lot more speed. And I think that's paying dividends. Now you got to find a way to put the puck in the net again.
Jordan Stone in his first shift after his 5-minute fighting major. He's out there along with Kyle Pouncey. Draw taken by Christian Simeone. He was a glue guy for the Grizzlies last year and probably is going to be that case this year as Utah wins the draw. As Pouncey throws to the corner, Idaho in the offensive zone, skates to the left point. As Idaho tries to feed it to the corner, rolls around the boards. Jack Becker to the right side, skates towards the point. As he drops off a Register, Utah picks it off. Dakota Raby read the play perfectly. Raby skates in left side, drops it off for Robinson. Robinson looking for a low liner, and it rolls towards Kupski, who flips it over to the right corner. Utah skating from right to left here in the second period. Grizzlies in the offensive zone over to Simeone. Trying to get it to Pouncey, but fanned on the pass. Idaho, 2-on-3, crosses center ice. They'll dump it to the corner. Willie Nierum chases after it, gets his own pass. As Timmons feeds over to Brady. He'll take a shot and goes high off the glass over the crossbar. Left point, as there's a whistle, and the puck might have bounced off the net, and that's why we got a whistle. Puck will stay in the Grizzlies zone. 4:58 left in the second. Utah still leads 1-0.
The Steelheads would do well to hit the net. I mean, and I know that sounds idiotic, but if they're going to keep trying to shoot high on Lucas Preek, and he's a big body, I understand why they're doing it.
There's not a whole lot of net there.
Yeah, but when you shoot high like that, 9 times out of 10, you're going to miss the crossbar, and they have continued to be wildly inaccurate in their shooting so far in the preseason.
Draw on the left circle of the Grizzlies zone. Utah wins it. Andrew Nilsson skates around the net. Puck bounced off the stick. Now White with it. Lefty shot saved by Parikh as Nilsson had to bounce off the stick in the pass. Didn't go anywhere. Nilsson feeds ahead towards Betts. Betts to center ice for Walker. Idaho got a stick in the way. A.J. White in the zone. He's near the boards. Feeds a nice pass to Spanenberg. So take a right wing shot, and that goes wide. Now towards Kudla. He tried to kick it ahead. Pfizer gathers it, throws it from corner to Nilsson. As Nilsson has it bounce off him. Spanenberg as it rolls around to the right side. Walker in the far corner. Walker gets hit by Kudla. As Idaho feeds out in front. Shot to score! And the Steelheads tie it up. Janice Spanenberg. He had the wide open net and hit the pipe. Gets a second opportunity, and he's tied up the game for Idaho as they have the fish to throw on the ice. There's the fish. Oh, the guy didn't get it on the ice. The guy who's supposed to throw the fish on the ice after Idaho's first goal didn't get it over the glass. As he'll eventually get it on the ice. Poor guy in row one, but the Steelheads have tied it up with 4:13 left in the second.
I'll continue to say it. You've got to make the simple play. Andrew Nilsson, multiple times, 3 times on that one particular possession, had the opportunity to clear that puck and end the danger, and he didn't do it. And he tried to throw that puck in front of their net. And anytime as a defenseman, you're behind the net, below your red line, if you're going to throw that puck in front of the net, you're asking for trouble. Keep that puck on the board, get it out, make the system pass. Nielsen didn't do that, and it leads to tying the game.
Usually they have the tradition when they throw the fish on the ice, and it took the guy about 30 seconds to finally get on. He tried to throw it from row 6. He didn't get it on there.
Tyson, it's the preseason. The fish hurler's rusty, man.
Are you telling me it's preseason for everybody?
That's exactly right.
Second time we've used that. The over-under is 4.5 as Utah wins the face-off, gets the center ice and dumps it in as we're tied at 1. Spanenberg gets his first in the Steelheads uniform, and it doesn't count, though. It's preseason, of course, as the puck deep in the Steelheads zone. As Shearer, left wing, shot, saved by Kupski. Rebound goes out in front. Now a shot deflected off a stick and goes wide. That was Jameson on it. As Idaho lifts it into Grizzlies territory. The bouncing puck is corralled by Clermont. He'll feed it from blue line to blue line as it bounced off the stick of Cameron Wright and deep into the Steelhead zone. Strong with a hit in the corner. Puck rolls towards the other corner on the near side as Walker drops it off for Canati. He gets knocked down as he was skating into the offensive zone. No penalty. Walker with a shot saved by Parikh, who did the splits. As Keller, he'll take a shot, he scores. As the Steelheads have taken the lead. The puck ended up in the slot. Parikh was kind of bent around backwards, and looks like the defenseman, Nick Canati, wearing number 3, gets his first goal of the preseason. The Steelheads have taken a 2-1 lead.
That's not going to be on Lucas Parikh. And again, it's that situation where you go for that big hit at the blue line, you get it. But if you don't control the puck, it's going to lead to an opportunity. And I think Lucas Parikh showed incredible flexibility to get that right pad out to make the initial save. But that's a very difficult save to get on the second opportunity.
Steelheads lead 2-1. We'll give you the details of the goals when we look it up on the ECHL app as the Steelheads win the faceoff and dump it into the Grizzlies zone. Less than 3.5 minutes left in the second period. As Colatarchi battling, Idaho has it. They'll skate towards the slot, take a shot, saved by Parikh. That was taken by Wade Murphy. As the Grizzlies tried to feed Strada, pass didn't get anywhere. It was picked off by Register at center ice. Register's pass didn't get anywhere, and the Grizzlies will bounce it off the far boards. Brady looks for Murphy. It gets picked off, rolls back to Brady. Darren's his first name. Colatarchi pokes it away as it goes into the Steelhead zone. as Matt Register will bounce it off his own backboard towards Brady. Brady, wearing number 23, bounces off the far glass. Simeone gets it at center ice, a skate towards his left and dump it in. Kupski tried to cut it off. He couldn't reach it. Grizzlies make a line change as the Steelheads at neutral ice, cross center ice and dump it in. Big hit delivered by Utah at center ice as Nielsen gets hit. Puck in the corner, rolls towards the left point as Bardo, right side will take a shot. Glove save by Parikh. 2:29 left in the second. Idaho leads 2-1.
Boy, it is, man, you just cannot explain where the Utah Grizzlies have gone in this second period, because Idaho has taken over. And maybe it's the travel, I don't know, but absolutely this period has been dominated by the Idaho Steelheads.
Svanenberg scored 15:41s. We're back to live action. Right point shot, glove saved by Parikh. Svanenberg got the goal, 15:41 in. Kawaguchi with the assist. And then, I can't do math on the air, but about less than a minute later, Idaho made it 2-1.
Yeah.
And that was the defenseman Nicholas Kanadi, who played 2 years in Finland recently, only 22 years old. As Grizzlies win the draw, Neil Robinson over to Simeone at neutral ice. He'll feed it across to Nilsson. Nilsson tried to dump it in on one tap, but met fanned on it. Svanenbergs will get it over to Dawson Bardo. He skates around his own net. Bardo gets around a check of Robinson. Bardo around center ice, feeds it to the left side. Steelheads get in on side. Idaho has it poked away. Neil Robinson gets it. Robinson tried to feed Raby, and Idaho poked it away. Good job by Bardo. A.J. White dumps it in as Parikh plays it just to the right of his net. As Grizzlies get it back over towards Nilsson, hit off of Simeone. Now it gets to Nilsson. Andrew skates to the right side, gets to Simeone at the center ice logo. Christian will veer off to the right. Get it to Raby, but the Grizzlies are offside with 1:40 left in the second.
You're just playing in quicksand right now. And Andrew Nilsson, I mean, that pairing, man, you just be solid. I'm sorry to be redundant. That little easy play, make that easy play, and it's going to work out for you most of the time, but they haven't.
Steelheads won the neutral zone draw, gets to center ice. Colton Keller dumps it in. Keller does a bit of everything for the Steelheads. He's a good player and plays a physical game. Grizzlies get it out to center. Idaho regathers it. Idaho backs it in. Kanadi, who scored Idaho's goal to tie it up, they'll feed it across to Cody Heiskanen. He'll get it to Jack Becker, who skates down the middle. Becker over, backhand shot, saved by Parikh. Becker gets tripped up as Parikh loses his stick. As Becker just walked down Broadway and had a good look. Grizzlies cross center. Kyle Betts is poked away. Betts delivers a hit at neutral ice. Timmons over to Becker, right side. Becker will take a shot. Saved by Parikh. And some action after the whistle as the Grizzlies try to protect their goaltender as Idaho is looking for a second look. 1:03 left in the second period.
That's Johnny Walker in there.
You know Johnny Walker's going to find some action.
Oh,
He's got the gloves. He throws a couple uppercuts. Boy, Walker drops the gloves, and he went after it. Boy, the linesman and referee were in the way, so he couldn't see who he was fighting. But Walker drops the gloves, and he started pounding away. Was that Keller getting his second fight? That was Nick Kanadi. Walker is going to skate towards the bench. The fans boo him. Walker is going to head to the locker room for the second intermission. Nick Kanadi, who took a few uppercuts, he's going to go to the locker room as well.
Well, and all of this has been building. This is frustration on the Grizzlies. And what is Johnny Walker's job? Johnny Walker's job is to be, he's not going to be the fastest guy. He's not going to be the most skilled guy. His job is to make something happen. And I think you saw there again, but you look at what's happening here, and you look at Lucas Parikh. He is absolutely making a difference for this Grizzlies team. This could easily be, I got news for you folks, this could easily be 3-4-5-1 right now. And
well, there was a play about a minute ago where Becker to the right side.
Yeah,
hockey's tough, so I don't want to get too critical, but he just walked in and had a scoring chance, and nobody really impeded him.
And Parikh stuck that blocker out and that right pad out, and what happened? He makes the save, and the Steelhead player goes flying, but you cannot play slow hockey in this league. It's just that the game is too fast anymore, and you look at who's out there now. You're gonna see that this group of five guys, and I think Wright's having himself a heck of a night tonight.
Yeah,
and he needs to.
Period.
Yeah, it's not surprising that he's out here, but you got to pick up the pace through the neutral zone. You're coming out with no momentum out of your own end.
That's what the preseason's for, is to work on those assignments. And I know Ryan Kanasowicz and Jared Pike will talk about it during the second intermission with his team. Draw one by the Grizzlies in their own zone. They get it out to Cam Strong. He drops it off to Keaton Jamison. Jamison gets slashed. Idaho pokes it back towards the Grizzlies bench area. Jamison gets knocked down, gets back to his feet. Battle in the Steelhead zones. The puck ends up there. Idaho gets it. They'll throw it over to Wade Murphy. Murphy over to the right side. It bounced off the stick as he was looking for Pelton Bice. As Grizzlies get it to center ice. Idaho in their own zone has the puck. Register. Feeds a blue line to blue line pass. Pelton Bice dumps it in. Idaho gets a couple fresh skaters out there. Jordan Stone, he collides with Wade Murphy along the end wall. Utah feeds it to the right point of their own zone. As Pelton Bice kept it in, gets it in deeper to Utah's territory. As Murphy around the boards, cutting over there is Walker. Now Becker, left side. Becker surveys. He skates towards the point. Stops, feeds it around the boards. Colton Keller cuts it off in the right corner. Keller skates towards the point, gets slashed. Looks to center it. On the puck ended up deflecting off a Walker's stick and just barely missed going in. And that'll do it for the second period as time runs out. You talk about the shot count with about 6 minutes or so left in the second period. Idaho probably had about 13 or 14. Yeah. Look at the scoreboard. They're up to 22 shots through 2 periods. So you talk about the number of shots they got in the last 6 minutes. This is not a period where the film is going to be kind to the Utah Grizzlies. And I think what you're seeing is, again, and I'm not trying to be too critical here, but you got to pick up the pace. In that third period, when you come out, you got to come out with a lot more pace. You got to come out with a lot more momentum through the neutral zone. We'll come back and recap the second period. It's 2-1. Idaho leads your Utah Grizzlies live on YouTube for the first time. We'll be here all season long. Make sure you tune in here. Give us a thumbs up. Please subscribe right here on the Utah Grizzlies Broadcasting Network.
Maverik's new bean-to-cup machines always deliver a freshly ground cup of coffee on demand, so you can enjoy any of our premium roasts at their best, day or night, hot or iced. Enjoy a fresh cup today.
Second intermission here at Idaho Central Arena. Glad that everybody's here on YouTube and on Flow Sports as Idaho leads 2-1. I thought the Grizzlies really dominated maybe the middle portion of that second period. And then the last 6 minutes, Idaho really asserted themselves as they ended up with 11 shots in the first period and 11 in the second. And the majority of those 11 shots came in the final 6 minutes of the second period. Utah led 1-0 after one as Dakota Raby scored a power play goal, 12-17 into the first period. Nate Clement and Keaton Jamison with the assist. Idaho outshot Utah 11-7 in the first period. And Grizzlies had a 1-0 lead, and it stayed 1-0 through the first 15 minutes and 41 seconds of the second period. Earlier in the second, Janis Svanenbergs, the native of Latvia, who's 21 years old, he had an open net, had a backhand shot, and then hit the pipe. The goal horn went off. Everybody started to celebrate. The problem is the official saw it perfectly and saw that it hit the pipe. No goal on the play, but Svanenberg's got a second chance, and he put it away to tie the game. The assist went to Jordan Kawaguchi, another newer member of the Steelheads who played with Texas last season. He went to the University of North Dakota, and he had a pretty good year with the Texas Stars as he's got an AHL contract, and the score was tied at 1. Less than a minute later, trying to do the math, it was about 46 seconds later. As the first goal was 15:41 into the second. Second goal was 16:27. As Nick Kanadi gets his first of the preseason. He spent the last 2 years in Finland. Zach Walker and Colton Keller with the assist. You talk about two guys for Idaho. I know we have some Steelhead fans tuned in. Zach Walker and Colton Keller. You talk about two glue guys that make their impact on every game. Both guys had some good games against Utah last season, and they are off to a pretty good start here in the preseason as they both look particularly good in the second period, playing a physical game, and those two are somebody that you can watch out for. And, you know, if you are the Grizzlies, you do have to pay attention to what the Steelheads are because you're going to face them 15 or 16 times during the regular season as these teams met 16 times last year, and Utah had a 9-6-1 record. But, Monty, I really liked, the middle portion of that second period, but then it just seemed like Idaho got that momentum, and, Utah just unfortunately couldn't find a way to stop the bleeding, and the only thing that really stopped the momentum was the end of the second period. Yeah, and I think, again, I would just talk about the pace. I mean, you have to come out of your own zone. So when you're playing defense and transitioning to offense,
You have to do that with pace. That means you have to pass the puck with authority. You know, I'm a big believer that you pass the puck as hard as you shoot the puck. Good stiff passing, good, and what's the right way to say it? Good, smart routes to the puck, because this team, the Utah Grizzlies, is very systematic. Everybody has a place they're supposed to be in. Everybody has a route they're supposed to be in. Do your job, be in the right place, make the right pass, and come out of the zone with pace. That's what we didn't see. And I also thought several times the Grizzlies got caught on that long change. In the second period, you are further away from your bench. It's much more difficult to change when you're on defense. And I think we saw that multiple times with the Grizzlies. They just couldn't get that change. And so you had some tired guys out there. But again, I will say, you have to make those little plays. When you have a chance to clear the puck, even if it's just out to the neutral zone, do that. When you have every opportunity to shoot that puck behind the opponent's net, go ahead and do that, Tyson, because it gives you a chance to change, to reset, to take a breath, and you can go forecheck and create a turnover.
In the second period last season, the Grizzlies outscored the opposition 96-67. So that was their strongest period in the regular season. And, you know, one guy I was looking forward to seeing in the second and really all night, and I thought he really showed up offensively in that second period, was Cameron Wright. He had a couple good looks. You can tell that he's very, the game, I think as his rookie season, as it progresses, I think the game's going to slow down even more for him. And I really saw a lot of good things in the offensive zone from him in the second period.
Yeah, and I thought he did a really nice job trying to, to forecheck, trying to use some size a little bit. Being a smart hockey player, that's what he's going to have to do, because I think, frankly, he's another guy I think that's going to have to earn every shift that he gets. There aren't going to be a predetermined number of shifts because he's not going to be a first-line guy. So I think he's going to have to find his way. I think the other thing that's really interesting is when you look at guys like, Colatarchi, who's another guy, as we talked about in the pregame show, he's going to have to earn every shift that he gets. So it's interesting to see. At one point in that period, he had a turnover, but what did he do? He redoubled his effort. He went and forechecked well. He went and got that puck back, and he got it in deep, and then he went and got off the ice. Those are the little things you have to do if you're going to earn shifts on this team.
Second intermission, Idaho leads 2-1. NHL action tonight. Who's your team, the Blackhawks?
I don't want to talk about it. Yes, the Chicago Blackhawks.
Oh, they lost. I'm looking at yesterday's scores. They lost 1-0 yesterday. I don't want to break that story once again. 4 games tonight in the NHL. 2 of them have gone final. Tampa defeats Columbus 5-2. Detroit shuts out Montreal 3-0. Red Wings get a clean sheet in their opener. I'm excited to see what the Red Wings. I mean, I know they're the Blackhawks rival, but I think Detroit's one of those teams that they're on the rise after a long rebuild.
Yes.
Late in regulation, Jets lead the Rangers 3-1. That game with 38 seconds left, so it looks like the Jets are going to pick up their first victory of the season. Rangers will fall to 2-1. And later tonight, in fact, a game that's just about to get underway, Carolina and San Jose. I want to send my condolences. Really, it's kind of our family that had a loss as grandfather Bruce Turner passed away. And you talk about a guy with incredible character. They don't make him like Bruce Turner anymore. He was amazing, and so our family is thinking about the Turner side as Bruce Turner, the final grandparent of mine to pass away, as Bruce's wife, Marilyn, passed away a couple of years ago. But, it's up for our family. Funeral will be next week, and I'm kind of hoping it's a midweek funeral so I can make it. Probably end up being on Friday or Saturday, and I'll end up doing that thing where you get like Facebook, and, you can end up watching a funeral service without being there. So
how do you feel about that, man? I mean, they obviously,
we got some changes, but I think they're positive changes. What exactly is going to be new for people that, are frequent listeners of the Grizzlies Hockey Network?
Well, I think what you're going to see when you watch this, when you watch our broadcast, obviously, first of all, you're going to have a pregame show and a postgame show right here on YouTube. You're going to have a 30-minute pregame show and then a 30-minute postgame show where we're going to have player interviews, coaches interviews. And if you subscribe to us right here on the YouTube channel, what you're going to see is that we're going to do practice reports. Right now, if you're on the channel, you can go and look through the playlists and find our training camp reports, and you're going to see mic'd up segments. So there's a lot of effort and a lot of great content being pumped out on our YouTube channel. And I would really encourage you, hey, follow the Utah Grizzlies on social media. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Absolutely follow the Utah Grizzlies on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. We do a wonderful job on TikTok, in my opinion. So make sure that you find all of those social media channels. And if you're watching the game right now, if you're one of the folks watching us on YouTube or Facebook Live, please comment, say hello. Let's shout you guys out. We love shouting out our fans. And again, don't forget that tomorrow night, you don't have to watch on YouTube. Let's get you out to Ogden. It is going to be game 2 of the preseason for the Utah Grizzlies and the Idaho Steelheads. This time, our good friends here in Idaho are going to travel south as the Steelheads will join us in Ogden for game 2 of the preseason. The Mustangs are going to drop the puck at 3 o'clock tomorrow up at the Weber County Ice Sheet in Ogden. And then at 7:10, the Utah Grizzlies and the Idaho Steelheads will play the second and final game of the preseason, because next Friday, the 21st, the Utah Grizzlies open their regular season action. Rapid City is at the Maverik Center. You're going to raise the Mountain Division Championship banner. It is going to be a special night at the Maverik Center. Make sure that you come out, support the boys, watch the banner go up, and then watch the Utah Grizzlies in Rapid City open up the 2022-2023 season.
Certainly going to be a good time. Tomorrow, the preseason game, we might see Ben Tardiff, might see Tyler Penner. Those guys are scratches. And it's kind of funny considering that Penner last season played in every preseason game, all 72 regular season games, and all 18 playoff games. Well, that's not going to be the case this year because he's already missed the first preseason game, but for good reason. He's just coming back from Manitoba, where he was in AHL camp, and it sounded like he made quite the impression at camp in Manitoba. A couple other former Grizzlies were in camp with Tyler Penner in Manitoba. Matthew Boucher and Brandon Cutler. Cutler played for the Grizzlies the first half of last season before being loaned to the Abbotsford Canucks, and he stayed there the rest of the season. Who knows where Cutler's going to end up this season. I do know that I would like to see him in a Grizzlies uniform, as he was quite the contributor and one of those guys that from end to end, can certainly be a dangerous force. As for Matthew Boucher, he ends up with the Iowa Heartlanders. It was announced today that he signs with Iowa. And you talk about a guy that was Rookie of the Year in the league 2 years ago in the 2020-21 season. And you talk about a guy that just got so much heart. And I know we're all rooting for Matthew Boucher. And we'll all be rooting for him the rest of his career. And, you think about last season, when he was out there and he was healthy, it was as good as he was 2 years ago. Unfortunately, he just couldn't stay healthy. But we wish Matthew Boucher the best in Iowa. Grizzlies don't play him in the regular season, so we can root for him all 72 games, and hopefully he'll be on the ice for all 72. But actually, I don't hope he's with Iowa for that long, because I hope he gets a spot in the AHL, because he's the type of guy, the more you see, the more you like. I think he's got AHL talent. And by the way, his father, Philippe Boucher, was a longtime NHLer.
Yeah, absolutely right. 2-1, the Idaho Steelheads lead your Utah Grizzlies after 2 periods of play right here on the Siegfried and Jensen Intermission Report, live in Idaho. Tim Montemayor with Tyson Whiting for you. Want to shout everybody out listening and watching the broadcast tonight on YouTube. Red Baron 27, how the heck are you? Hey, it's our old friend Raphael, Talking with Raphael podcast. Good to see you, my friend Raphael. Charlene Feller, great to have you on board tonight. She says, hi, guys. Doing a great job. Appreciate that. Scott Walker, hello to you. Just everybody watching tonight, thanks so much for spending a few minutes of your Friday evening with us for some hockey right here on our YouTube channel. Again, if you're here, please do give us a thumbs up and a like. It really helps us grow the channel. And I see a lot of people that are watching us on Facebook tonight as well. Thank you for that. Riley O'Brien, how the heck are you? Good to see you. Nicholas Hayes, how the heck are you? Tyson shouting out the Atlanta Braves, I guess, are in trouble tonight.
They're in trouble. They lost 9-1. That game's over. They're now facing elimination. But last season was a great run. Who knows? I mean, they got to win 2 more against the Phillies. And even if they do get past them, and the Dodgers do look like they're quite the force. I think the Dodgers are playing the Padres right now. But I'm not sure how that game's going. But the Braves are on the brink of elimination. The mine are and we, the Atlanta Braves.
The my are and we, the Atlanta Braves.
It was one of those. That was one of those rejoins back in the Tyson show, back in the 1320 K-Fan days, which had great ratings. It was there for 2 years. In fact, fun fact, I hosted the final Loco show in the history of 1320 K-Fan on February 25th, and then 2 days later.
You mean 1320 K-Fan, the sports leader.
The sports leader, yes. Not anymore because they folded like 5 or 6 years ago. But
Yeah, they sold the antenna is what they did, Tyson. So
if I would have known that, I would have bought the antenna, but I don't have the money. I should have won the lottery and then kept that antenna in place. And
just those antennas are not cheap, my friends.
Since I'd buy the antenna, then that'd make me the program director, and I just give myself an afternoon show. But
well,
it is what it is. It's interesting to kind of see how.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Go right ahead.
I had nothing to say. That was
awesome. Raptors 88, good to see you. Thanks for watching the show tonight.
Is that the guy that wants me to join your morning show?
I think it is. I think, and you should. You absolutely should.
It's your show. I'm not going to invite myself. Like, you got to invite me.
Well, I'm not going to invite you. You'll overshadow me, Tyson, because you're more talented than I am. Speaking of which, let's talk about this third period coming up because we have about 5 minutes to go here in the Siegfried and Jensen Intermission Report. Your Utah Grizzlies trail the Idaho Steelheads 2-1 here at Idaho Central Arena in good old Boise, Idaho. Fun to drive by the blue turf this afternoon, by the way. Always good to see those guys over there at Albertson Stadium.
Is it as blue as it's ever been?
I don't know because I actually lied and I did not look at it, but I did drive by the stadium.
I want to see if the rumor's true. I heard, and I don't know if that happens as much anymore, but I heard that birds actually mistaken it for water and dive into the turf. I wonder if that's a true story or not.
Well, thanks for that, Tyson. Let's talk about the third period.
Dynamite drop in, Monty. The broadcast school has really paid off.
I'll tell you what, let's go into this third period and hope that the Grizzlies keep it simple because I know that that's Ryan Kanasewicz's theory. Hey, man, let's do the little things well. Everything else will take care of themselves. And I want to see Andrew Nielsen, the big defenseman, number 44 for this club. I want to see Andrew Nielsen come out here at Idaho Central Arena and make a statement in the third period. Get the puck out of the zone. Make the right play. Make the right decision. Simeone's got to have a better third period than he did a second period because he looked like he had heavy legs. And that very well maybe, I got to be honest with you, this has been a very aggressive training camp. They have skated hard and fast every single day. But it's not an excuse to get on the sheet here in Idaho and play slow through the neutral zone. To try to be fancy. Dump the puck in and let's go play another shift. That's what I want to see. I want to see the simplification of the system because we've watched all week, and I don't know what you've thought about it. I thought it was very clean and clear. Everybody on this bench essentially played in this system at one point or another last year. This is not rocket science. Make the right play at the right time and let your teammate do his job. Then you get off the ice and somebody else is going to go do their job. That's all that this team has to do because, again, if you're just tuning into the broadcast here on YouTube, Idaho leads 2-1. This could easily be 5-1 Steelheads.
Yeah.
And I don't think I'm even exaggerating that.
Well, Becker had a good look in the second period. There was a couple other good looks in the final 6 minutes of the second period. There was the post that was hit by Spandenbergs, and he pretty much had an open net. And I think here in the preseason, Ryan Kanasewicz is going over some things. I think he's trying some new lineups out. And really, I think if you talk about some guys that are on the bubble, I think that's the guys you're seeing get a lot of ice time. Stone, Pouncey, Simeone, seeing a lot of Dakota Raby, and Neil Robinson, who played 3 games last season before suffering a season-ending injury in November of 2021. He actually played pretty well in the series against Rapid City in early November before getting injured and out for the year. I think you're seeing a lot of him because I think Coach Kanasewicz wants to see what's he going to bring to the table this season. Seeing a little bit of Keaton Jamison as well. And so I think you might be seeing some guys get big minutes that you don't normally see play big minutes, partly because Kanasewicz wants to see what kind of role those guys are going to have. I really want to see what those guys can have in a situation like this where, let's face it, win or lose, this game's not going to count. You're not going to count this game.
There are guys tonight who
want to be able to see if those guys can get the job done.
That's exactly my point. And there are guys tonight who are losing shifts tomorrow because of what's happening tonight. And again, I think this is that time of the year as you watch the Utah Grizzlies take the ice for the third period here in Utah or here in Idaho, trailing 2-1. I think this is that period where you got to make a decision. Do you want to be on this team? Or do you want to go play somewhere else? Because that's the reality of the situation here tonight. I mean, you have a lot of guys that are fighting for their job.
Before the third period, they played the same song, and everybody puts their hand up and down. And so I'm just joining in with the crowd here at Idaho Central Arena.
I was like, are you telling me to shush?
No, I'm just dancing right now. It's pretty much what we have. Is we're about set to start the third period of play. Joey Strada talking things over near the Grizzlies bench. Ryan Kanasowicz and Jared Pike. Let's see if there's a different goaltender for Idaho. I heard they might put in Poirier for the third period, as it looks like Poirier might be in there. And no, it's actually going to be Jake Kupski who's going to be playing the whole way. There was talk that Idaho would switch goaltenders halfway through the game, but it looks like Kupski has gone through the duration. Tomorrow we'll probably see Peter Thome, no relation to Jim Thome, and Remy Poirier, who's a 21-year-old who's got an NHL entry-level contract. We've seen Lucas Preek tonight for the Grizzlies.
And look who's coming out.
20 of 22. Kyle Betts, Dakota Raby, and Taryn Pfizer.
That's not accidental. And again, Martin and Nielsen will be on the blue line to start this period. That's not an accident. There's a point to be proven right now, because I think Lucas Parikh tonight has stood on his head between the pipes for the Utah Grizzlies. Now it's time for these forwards and defensemen to come together as a unit and get this game, back in control, because
actually I think Raby's out there because Walker's in the penalty box continuing to serve as fighting major.
But I also think that there's no accidents, in my opinion. Dakota Raby is a fast, aggressive forward, and I think you're going to see that from him tonight as we get ready to drop the puck here in the third period. 2-1, the Idaho Steelheads lead your Utah Grizzlies right here on YouTube. If you're watching tonight, thanks for joining us for a few minutes to get us underway. In the third period, it is the voice of the Utah Grizzlies, Tyson Whiting.
Grizzlies will be skating from left to right here in the third period. Idaho from right to left as the Grizzlies wearing the white jerseys with black numbers and professional green trim. As the Grizzlies have it, Bryson Martin will skate to neutralize, crosses center, and dumps it in as it goes past Matt Register. Jake Kupski gets it over to Register, over to the side of the net. Register skates to the corner. Betts cuts him off. Steelheads still with the puck as they throw it out to center ice. Bryson Martin gets it as it was an errant pass. Martin spins it around the boards. It goes to the far side. Kyle Betts gets there. Betts gets hit as the puck goes towards the corner. Deflects towards Colton Keller. He gets to center ice. Now Zach Walker gets it. Walker one-on-one with Bryson Martin. Martin does a great job cutting him off and knocking down Walker. Still had the puck. A good poke check by the Grizzlies. Couldn't see if that was Betts or if it was Pfizer, but the puck goes all the way out to the Steelhead zone. Grizzlies make a line change.
Very basic. Get the puck deep in and let's go forecheck, which is what we talked about. That's why I say not surprised to see it.
Steelheads have the puck. Pelton Bice. Ty is his first name. Ty gains a line. He'll feed it across. It bounces off the boards. Wade Murphy gets it. Murphy tried to shovel it towards the circle. Didn't get anything on a pass. Goes to Nate Klarman in the left circle as Klarman will spin it around the boards. Bounces off the stick of Wade Murphy deep in the Steelhead zone. And because of that, no icing as the Steelheads spin it along as Jamison wearing number 12. That was Dylan Fitz last season. Fitz wears number 13, but he's a scratch. Grizzlies get it over to Jamison around the net. I tried to feed right out in front. It hit the side of the net. Idaho in the corner. Pelton Bice will feed it across. The Grizzlies get back defensively. Idaho will bounce it off the glass. Dawson Bardo, and he'll get it over to Miller, who dumps it in. Jade Miller, who played for South Carolina last season. He's 27 years old, is over in the right corner. Steelheads, they tried to center it, but nobody was home. Klarman up the head to Kolatarchi, crosses center ice and dumps it in. As the Grizzlies make a line change, Kupski dumps to the corner. Kolatarchi falls down as the Steelheads get it out to center ice. The captain, A.J. White. He crosses center, gains the line, right side, stops at the point. He feeds to the circle. Simeone with a poke check. Pelton Bice skates towards the slot. Lefty shot, and he goes wide as he threw a low liner. Register over towards Kawaguchi. Jordan's his first name. He feeds to White on the right side. White skates towards his left, gets a poke by Pouncey. Now the Grizzlies take it away. Utah crosses center ice 2-on-3. Neil Robinson doesn't have numbers, so he'll dump it in. Steelheads do a good job getting back defensively. 2.5 minutes into the third period, Idaho leads 2-1. Register will feed it off the near boards or the far boards. Grizzlies skating from left to right. Dakota Raby gets around near him. Raby skates to the right side, feeds it to Betts. Betts over to the slot for Pfizer. He takes a shot and it gets blocked. Idaho gets tripped up, and the official spotted it. Jake Jackson's done a good job tonight. Taryn Pfizer gets caught 2 minutes for tripping, and the Steelheads will be on the power play for the third time tonight.
Boy, you hate that. That was an effort penalty there, as that was a bouncing puck, and Pfizer tried to swat it back in, and he wound up tripping up the Idaho Steelhead skater. And here we go again, another opportunity for the Idaho Steelheads to be on the power play. This is a big kill because you got 17 minutes to go. The next goal probably goes a long way to winning this game, Tyson. If the Grizzlies can somehow get a shorty or kill this off, that'll go a long way for this club.
Idaho's 0 for 2 on the power play tonight. Grizzlies win the face-off. Asher throws it to right. He tried to clear it out. It kept in Darren Brady in the right point. Now to register. He'll take a shot. He scores. That one might have gotten redirected by A.J. White. So the Steelheads get a power play goal. 17:07 left in the third. It's Idaho 3 and Utah 1 as A.J. White skates to the bench first as he redirected the Matt Register shot, and that's what A.J. White does best. He did that time and time again for Idaho last season, and he's made his money, and he's made his living, getting in front of the net on the power play and making things happen.
Wow. Listen, if you're not going to get the puck out again, that was simply a matter of you had time and space, plenty of time and space to get that puck all the way down the other end, and you didn't do it. And you shanked on a clearing attempt, and it wound up in the back of your net. Again, it's basics of hockey.
Draw at center ice, battling for about 5 seconds. Idaho comes up with it. Steelheads cross center ice. We're back to 5-on-5 skating. Timmons gets knocked down by Martin. Steelheads skate in offside as the draw will come back to neutral ice. 16:54 left in the third. Steelheads get a big insurance goal with a power play tally. They have outshot the Grizzlies 23-11.
Yeah, that's frustrating. It is going to be tough, honestly. It is going to be tough if you're not going to do the basic things for this club. It's going to be tough to find ice time because Ryan Kanasowicz has a dearth of forwards on this team that are going to do those little things, Tyson.
Draw one by the Grizzlies. Bryce Martin out towards center ice. His pass connects as Grizzlies bounce it off the boards. And over in the corner, Cameron Wright battling. Cam Strong wearing number 26. Over there is Strong and Wright. Behind the net with 2 or 3 Steelheads. Puck deflects out of play as a good 2-on-2 battle ensued. And the Grizzlies will have an offensive zone draw. 16:31 left in the third. And I think one group I'm interested in seeing is Cameron and Cam.
Yeah.
Cameron Wright and Cam Strong. We saw Wright do some good things in the second period. I think Strong, assuming he puts a physical presence to the ice, I think he's going to make his mark. He's on the right wing for the face-off. Keaton Jamison will take the face-off. Nielsen and Martin, the two defensemen. Grizzlies win the face-off. Right wing, right with a shot, save. Rebound, Jamison with a shot, saved by Kupski as the Steelheads battling. Now left wing, shot and scores! Is that Andrew Nielsen? I think it is. There was a lot of traffic out in front, but Nielsen puts it away, and the Grizzlies get their second goal of the night. It's now a 3-2 game, as it looks like Andrew Nielsen skates back to the bench first. He had 9 goals in half a season for Utah last year.
But it's Cam Strong making a play behind the net, getting his nose dirty, taking a body. And I think those little things, that's why you have to play that. You have to play that gritty hockey, but that puck's got to go behind the net. Cam Strong right there, I think he heard your words because you know what? You look at Cam Strong, you look at J-Mo on that play, Keaton Jamison. That's a good line tonight for Ryan Kanasowicz.
Nielsen gets the goal. Looked like he went low on Kupski. I think Kupski was expecting him to go high, but Kupski might not have seen it with all the traffic. Steelheads dumping into the Grizzlies zone as it's a 1-goal game. Keller battling with Pouncey in the corner. Now Simeone pushing Miller, and the puck gets squirted out by Utah. Joey Strana feeds it across. Kyle Pouncey skates towards his bench. He gets taken away by Colton Keller. He'll feed it ahead to Miller. Miller to the left side near the boards, looks for a centering pass. Shot saved by Parikh. Oh, the centering pass got through. Jade Miller to Walker, and then Walker poked it towards Parikh on a one-time attempt, and Parikh was able to make the stop. Good play by Idaho. Some pushing and shoving after the whistle, but nothing to be had. A couple nouns and verbs and adjectives being used as Walker will skate to the bench. Zach Walker, that it is. Johnny Walker for the Grizzlies will be exiting the penalty box right now as he got in a fight with Nick Canati. Canati had Idaho's second period goal.
Yeah, I think it's pretty clear here that now you're in the game. Now you got to go make another play. And if I'm Ryan Kanasowicz, the message that I am sending is, we got to keep doing these little things right. And I think if you continue to do these little things right, you're gonna start seeing good things happen. And again, Dakota Raby's on the ice, Shearer Betts out there as well. But my guy, he's got the A on his chest tonight. Nate Klurman has been rock solid on that blue line. I think this is a very intentional group that's out there for Kanasowicz again.
Tim is a Notre Dame fan as Klurman has the puck after Utah wins the face-off. Notre Dame did have a big win over BYU this past weekend. Puck rolls towards Parikh, and he'll throw it to the far corner. Shearer gets over to Klurman, but the puck never got to him. Nierim tried to center it, but hit the side of the net. Now it goes back to Klurman, and Nate will feed it over to the far side. Grizzlies will attack from left to right. Grizzlies fanned on the pass to center ice. Raby gets it back and dumps it in. Utah. Kyle Betts does a good job trying to box out Canati, but Canati with a great defensive effort, keeping the puck. Now Utah has it in the left circle. Grizz surveyed. They fire it towards Kupski, but it hits the side of the net. Now Betts will throw it up top for Klerman. He'll skate towards his left. He'll fire a shot that goes wide off the boards. Hits the side of the net. Jack Becker battling with Dakota Raby. They battled a lot in the University of Michigan for 3 or 4 years in practice. As the Steelheads gain the line, right side shot. Stick saved by Parikh as the puck ends up towards the end boards. Grizzlies gather it as Betts surveys. He'll feed it over to Klerman. Nate crosses center ice, bounces off the Steelhead skate. Now at the Idaho blue line, A.J. White gets it. So he'll throw it back towards Bardo. He'll feed it to center ice for Spanenbergs, and he'll one-time dump it in as it hit off his stick. As Spanenberg's now behind the net. I tried to feed out in front Kawaguchi. Now Kawaguchi with a shot, and that gets blocked. As Shearer lifts it high into the air, bouncing puck into the Steelhead zone. Foot race, and Cudlett does a great job boxing out Utah as chasing after, I believe, was Cameron Wright. Now the Steelheads get it. They cross center ice in the transition game. 2-on-1. A.J. White skates to the right side. He looks to center to Kawaguchi. He'll take a backhand shot that goes wide. Steelheads trying to feed it out to the slot, and it goes wide deep into the Steelhead zone. Utah's got a man down slow to his feet, but getting back to the bench is Andrew Nilsson as he'll skate off the ice. 14 minutes and counting left in the third period. Idaho leads 3-2. Steelhead skate down the middle, get it over to the left side. Murphy couldn't gather the one-timer, but he gets the puck and throws the Ty Pelton-Bice. Pelton-Bice, who played with Newfoundland last season, feeds it over to the right corner. Murphy gets it. He skates towards the point. Idaho feeds it back to the corner from Miller. Miller gets it over to Murphy. It glanced off his skate and goes to the corner. Murphy chases after it. Murphy throws to the right point, but the pass was wide to register and goes out of the zone. Idaho resets. Steelheads get it over to Miller, right side. He'll take a shot. Glanced off of Murphy out in front and goes wide to the right side. Now Register feeds it back over to Pelton-Bice. He gets it poked into the corner by Martin. Martin gets it ahead to Colatarchi. He lifts it high into the air, almost hit the video board. As the Grizzlies, Dakota Raby gets to Steelheads territory and dumps it in. About 13 minutes left in the third period as it's 3-2 Steelheads. Idaho crosses center ice. Miller dumps it in as it goes to the right corner. Klerman shovels it ahead, back towards Johnny Walker. Walker collides with Zach Walker and Johnny Walker as the puck exited the zone and then re-entered. I believe it's offside. 12:52 left in the third period. Is there a timeout on the ice? It looks like there is. Idaho 3, Utah 2 on the Grizzlies Hockey Network.
When you pay with the Nitro card at Maverik, you always save 10 cents or more on fuel every gallon, every day. And you could save a whole lot more thanks to Nitro Best Price. Pick up a Nitro card and upgrade your Adventure Club account today.
Steelheads lead 3-2. Idaho's outshot Utah 25-14. Steelheads led 2-1 after 2 periods of play. Idaho got a power play early in the third. A.J. White redirected a Matt Register shot, 2:53 in. Jack Becker also got an assist. Less than a minute later, Andrew Nilsson from the left side. There was a bunch of traffic out in front, and Kupski probably didn't see it. Nilsson went low on him and scored. He had 9 goals in 36 games last year. Before last season, Nilsson spent 5 years in the AHL. After he was released by the Grizzlies, he spent some time with the Tucson Roadrunners of the AHL. Bryson Martin and Keaton Jamison picked up the assists. Utah's 1 for 1 on the power play. Idaho is 1 for 3. As we've got less than 13 minutes left in regulation, Utah wins the neutral zone draw. As Nate Klerman out in front of Parikh, he'll feed it out to neutral ice. Grizzlies cross center as Raby gains the line, gets held up, and the Steelheads tried to clear it out. Grizzlies kept it in. Utah feeds it out towards Pfizer. Got redirected by an Idaho stick. Good defensive play. Betts over in the corner as Fulton Keller once again throwing his body around. He does that often. As the Steelheads get the puck, they'll skate to neutral ice. Zach Walker at center ice overskated it. Nate Klerman gets it. Klerman wearing number 16. Veers off to the left, gains the line, and dumps it in. Grizzlies get knocked down. Klerman around the boards, delayed penalty, and it's going to be on Idaho. As Parikh skates to the bench. Klerman, high slot, shot, kick saved by Kupski, and it's touched up by Jack Becker. And it's going to be a penalty on the Steelheads. Grizzlies go on the power play for the second time tonight. It's a 1-goal game. Grizzlies could tie it up here.
Well, and I think, again, who are you seeing on the ice there? You're seeing, Klerman's on the ice. You're seeing Dakota Raby on the ice. You're seeing this same group of guys that's out there, Betts included, that are starting to have an impact on Idaho. You're seeing a lot of Taryn Pfizer, who's going to be out here on the power play, having an impact on Idaho because they're playing fast. They're playing smart, fundamental hockey. You see Klerman just dump that puck in deep because he knows that they're going to get there first. He believes in Dakota Raby.
That's to take the face off. Pfizer, Walker, Martin, and Nielsen. That's a 5 on the ice for the Grizzlies. Utah wins the draw. Pfizer left side near the corner, gets over to Johnny Walker. Puck over his stick, goes to the right corner. Idaho gathers it, hits it off, and Nielsen hits him in the face. And puck ends up in the Idaho bench as A.J. White hit Nielsen up high. Nielsen's going to skate to the bench, and it looks like he avoided danger there. Might have hit a little bit of visor.
Yeah, right off exactly.
Well,
he
doesn't have too many more teeth to lose. I saw him, and he doesn't have much up front, so it's. You wouldn't really lose any teeth because there's not many teeth left.
Got to win the draw here, Tyson. Got to have it.
1:48 left in the power play. Idaho leads 3-2. Draw won by Idaho as Betts got knocked down while taking the face off. Steelheads dumping in. Nielsen stays on the ice as he just cleaned out his visor. Nielsen obviously wants to be out there on the power play this season as he skates down the middle. Nielsen will drop it off for Pfizer. Pfizer out to the right side, crosses center ice and dumps it around the boards. Johnny Walker lets it go to the point. Bryson Martin. Martin will take a shot. Glove saved by Kupski. As Martin fired it towards the net, hoping that Walker could redirect it, and Walker couldn't quite get a piece of it. Bryson Martin last season for Indy in about 39 games, I think he had 4 goals and 19 assists. He could be a key contributor for Utah as both teams make a line change.
Johnny Walker right in the middle of the fracas again in front of the net for the Utah Grizzlies, and it's exactly where he should be. But again, here's this group. Dakota Raby's out there. Keaton Jamison, you're looking at Klerman, you're looking at Wright, you're looking at Cam Strong. Look at this group. Let's see if they can tie this game on the power play with 1:20 to go on the man advantage.
Of course, you're looking at them on Flow Sports. You're looking at us here on YouTube as the draw's going to be in the left circle. We're having some fun here on a Friday night. We'll have some fun tomorrow in Ogden as the draw won by Utah. Gets over to the point for Klerman. He'll feed it to the right side for Cameron Wright. Wright drops it back off for Klerman, who skated to the right side. I look for Cam Strong. The pass is wide of the mark. Register throws it to center ice for Zach Walker. He feeds it to the Utah blue line, and it's cut off by Cameron Wright. Idaho retreats defensively as Wright to the right side, gains the line, skates towards his right. Right with a shot, kick save by Kupski. Oh, good look by Cameron Wright. As rebound goes out to the left side, Keaton Jamison drops it off for Cam Strong. He'll feed it to the left point. Now across to Klerman, back to Wright. Late in the power play, 45 seconds left as the Grizzlies skate along the goal line. Shot saved by Kupski. Jamison gets held up along the end wall. Cam Strong over there as well. Wright surveys. Cam Strong comes out of the pile with the puck. I tried to get to Raby, but it was wide to him. On to Klerman. Nate skates to his right up top, feeds to the left side. Utah gets to the right. He's got plenty of room. He'll take a shot on. It gets blocked.
Idaho without a stick Klerman. There.
Klerman over to the right side, gets knocked down. And another stick goes flying. And the Grizzlies keep it in the zone. No, Idaho gets it, and they'll lift it high into the air. And it bounces in the Grizzlies zone and rolls towards Parikh, who gets it and throws it to Andrew Nilsson as both teams make another line change. The Grizzlies prepare for life after the power play. About halfway through the third period, Idaho leads 3-2. Grizzlies scan the line. Bryson Martin with speed. He feeds it out in front for Simeone, but he couldn't get a shot off. Simeone centers it. Shot saved by Kupski. Simeone's pass didn't get through, but the puck ended up rolling towards Kupski, who made the save with 10:03 left in the third.
A lot better speed, a lot better momentum through the neutral zone for the Utah Grizzlies, and that's exactly, I think, what Ryan Kanasowicz is looking for. Now, you're going to get a little depth here. Kolatarchi's going to come out with Strada. Klerman's going to stay on the ice. Is that Simeone out there as well? Let's see what this group can do, because these are the guys that are competing for a spot on this team and consistency on the ice.
In the third period, the Grizzlies about shot the Steelheads 7-3. And as Idaho gets it, Utah initially won the face-off as they throw it over towards Keller. And back to Jack Becker. He gets it poked away by Strada. But taken away by Nick Canati. Canati, 22 years old, as it bounces off of Klerman, rolls back to the Steelhead zone. Idaho still in control of the puck as they've got a 3-2 lead. Heiskanen, Cody's his first name, 6'4" long defenseman, feeds out to neutral ice, and Kolatarchi's going to get a penalty as he knocked down Jack Becker, and the Steelheads are going to be back on the power play. Looks like Willie Niram and Kolatarchi hold each other up. Niram holds the jersey of Kolatarchi, It's going to be a trip, and Cole is going to go to the penalty box. 9:35 left in the third, and the Steelheads will be on the power play when we come back. Idaho's up by 1. 3-2 is the score. Steelheads outshot the Grizzlies 25-18, but the Grizzlies have a 7-3 edge in shots in the third period on the Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Maverik's new bean-to-cup machines always deliver a freshly ground cup of coffee on demand, so you can enjoy any of our premium roasts at their best, day or night, hot or iced. Enjoy a fresh cup today.
It's the Steelheads 3 and the Grizzlies 2. Lucas Preek has been in net for the Grizzlies all game long. He has stopped 22 of 25. He was the Grizzlies' rival last season. He was the top goaltender of the Rapid City Rush, and I know Grizzlies fans are excited to see him on their side this season. Jake Kupski gets the start for Idaho, and he's been pretty good. Kupski, in a couple of games, really looked good against Utah.
Boy, you're going to see an interesting Klerman and Nielsen will come out here on the kill. See if that's Shearer and Pfizer.
I think we might end up seeing Shearer. They're playing a lot of penalty kill time.
Nielsen now takes a seat.
Shearer and Klerman are going to be the two defensemen on the penalty kill. We'll also see Taryn Pfizer and Kyle Betts.
Are you surprised? I mean, I think Betts has been really pretty effective tonight. I think his shifts, he's made the most of those opportunities. And now you're starting to see him get opportunities on the special teams. And it's interesting to see Klerman's getting a lot of ice time in big situations as well.
Klerman, Betts will take the face-off. He won 55% of his draws at Cornell University, where he was a teammate of current Steelheads defenseman Cody Heiskanen. Utah wins the draw, and Klerman clears it out.
Excellent work there. Winning the draw, clearing it out, fundamental hockey by the Utah Grizzlies.
We saw that from Betts in the postseason, and him, Pfizer, Sekos, among those that will be playing their first full season as a pro. As Idaho across the center ice, spins it around the boards, goes to the left corner. Klerman tries to clear it out. It gets stopped in the right corner. Idaho skating from right to left. They're in the offensive zone as they feed it to the goal line, far side. Miller will get it back up top for Bardo, across towards Kudla. He tried to feed it to the corner. Utah picks it off, and Pfizer will clear it out. You're talking about penalty killing forwards that have really impressed. Taryn Pfizer, who's skating off the ice now, has been an impressive one on the penalty kill.
And look at the Cams out there. Cam Strong, Wright's out there as well. Stone and Pouncey on the blue line.
Steelheads still back in their own zone with a methodical approach. Now they start the attack as they throw a rink-wide pass to the left side. They enter the zone. A.J. White gets checked by Cameron Wright. Register drops it off. Puck bounces in front of Preek. Now to the right side. Shot goes wide as Preek tried to clear it out, but only got to the circle. White over towards Kawaguchi. Over behind the net. Utah gathers it and clears it all the way out. Good penalty kill work by the Grizzlies.
Quick change, too. Martin and Nielsen on now for the Grizzlies.
8:15 and counting left in the third as Idaho late in the power play gets checked by Nielsen as the Steelheads enter the zone. Now to the near side. Grizzlies bouncing off the boards. Goes past Register all the way towards Jake Kupski.
30 seconds to go in the kill. So far, so good for the Grizzlies.
Idaho crosses center ice. Barry to make that Darren Brady, number 23. He was one of Idaho's better defensemen last year. Peels back into his own end as the Steelheads spread the ice. Brady skates down the middle, still in his own zone. Now gets the neutral ice, feeds over to Keller. Pass behind him, but it rolls towards Jack Becker, who's in the offensive zone. Now to Keller, up top for Register, who's going to be instrumental on their power play all season. Register right side, feeds it across. Kanadi, he'll take a shot, and it gets blocked and goes out of play. Good block by Keaton Jamison as the power play is over. Good penalty kill by Utah's Cole Tarchi out of the box, and now he'll skate to the bench.
Excellent job by that unit, and I think, again, a much better period so far from Andrew Nielsen. That's something we talked about in the intermission. You wanted to see that. He's got the goal, a couple of really good penalty killing shifts as well. By the way, look who we're seeing a lot more of tonight, Dakota Raby, looking really good in this period.
Draw in the Grizzlies zone, won by Idaho. Heiskanen, he'll take a righty shot and a save by Preek. Heiskanen was a college teammate of Kyle Betts at Cornell University for many years. Jack Becker avoids Shearer. Becker over to Keller. Tries to feed it to the right side. Right wing shot. Saved by Preek. That was taken by Heiskanen. Grizzlies clear it out to center. Heiskanen gets it back as he'll feed it over to Kanadi. Nick's his first name. He played overseas in Finland the last couple of years. He gains the line. He's got good speed. Kanadi backhand shot. Saved by Preek. Preek throws it to the corner. Walker gets held up by Klerman as Simeone gets spun around but got it out to center ice past Neil Robinson. Steelheads back up with a puck. They lead 3-2 with less than 7 minutes left. Idaho's Jack Becker skates to the left circle. Take a shot. Saved by Preek.
Big save there, and I'll tell you, Shearer really makes a nice play on that drive by Canati. You have to, if you are in a defensive position there, you have got to give that offender very few options, because that lets your goaltender be in a better position and be more confident about what that offender is going to do. Shearer pushed him wide, and that allowed Parikh to be in a really strong position to make the save.
Kyle Betts will take the draw against Ty Pelton Bice. Off the draw, Murphy swings and misses. Utah gets it. Pfizer to the right side with speed. He'll skate to the right side, skates around the net as Bardo cut off the angle. Bardo with the puck as he'll throw it ahead. Idaho across the center ice, kicked off a skate. Murphy dumps it in, rolls around the boards. Parikh cuts it off. Looks like he likes to play behind his net quite a bit. Grizzlies get it to the near side for Pfizer. Taryn gets out of his zone, carries it out to center ice, and dumps it in.
Great job.
Steelheads come after it. Bardo will feed it over to the far side. Steelheads skating from right to left here in the third period. As Nilsson cuts it off of the blue line. Now left circle. Now to Betts. He'll take a shot. Saved by Kupski as the centering feed connected to Betts. He took a shot, but Kupski made the save stick side as Idaho crosses center ice and dumps it in. Parikh will get it over to Bryson Martin. No relation to Luke, who was with the club last season. Luke's playing for Jacksonville this year. As Keaton Jamison crosses center ice and dumps it in. Register with Cam Wright in the area. As Register will throw it to the near side. As the Grizzlies. Becker gets it back to Register over near the corner. Grizzlies in the offensive zone. As Wright will feed it to the point. Martin over to Nielsen left side. Nielsen gets knocked down.
Come on now.
And lost the puck. One-on-one. Steelheads. Jordan Timmons will skate to the right side. He gets tripped up. Referee spotted it, and it's going to be a penalty. As Martin can't believe the call. I think he thought he made a clean play. But he's going to the box. 5:26 left in the third. 3-2 Steelheads. As Nelson was over on the left point, and he got knocked down. And
what happened?
Idaho took the puck away, and that was Timmons.
He may have gotten knocked down by himself. He tried to be cute with the puck at the point, and the play before that, he had a really nice job keeping that puck in. But what happens? You get cute at the point, it winds up in a turnover, and now you have one of your teammates in the box. By the way, a play that I don't necessarily believe was a penalty. You're allowed to be physical. He's going to call a cross-check on that. But, I mean, it's just unnecessary. Make the basic play at the top of the zone, and we're not going to be killing a penalty here. And too many times tonight, the Grizzlies have not made that very basic play. Keep the puck in, play it deep. If you don't have a shot, if you're Andrew Nielsen at the top of the zone there, and you don't have a shot, you got to put that puck back in. If you don't have a pass directly across, you got to put that puck back in. Let your guys, because you've had a really good forechecking period, by the way. I think you've played very well behind their net. Keep doing that.
The first of two preseason games will be in Ogden tomorrow night, 7:10. We'll hope to see a lot of fans out there. Come by and say hi to us, as we'll be broadcasting on YouTube for the audio stream. Yeah, I know what YouTube's known for, but we'll try to paint the picture for you. And the game will also, that one's not going to be on Flow Sports. It's just going to be on YouTube for tomorrow night's game. Remember, Flow Sports for all 72 regular season and playoff games. That's across the league. And for the audio stream, last couple years it was on Mixler. This year it's on YouTube, as the Steelheads have the face-off left circle. Actually, they haven't dropped the puck yet. A.J. White will take the face-off, and it's won by Idaho. White over to Register, left point. It's like a shot. Saved by Parikh. That was a blast by Register from the left point, and Parikh was able to make a glove save.
Lucas Parikh has been pretty solid tonight. He's made a lot of big saves and a lot of big moments. He's bailed guys out repeatedly, and that was another one right there.
White will take the face-off against Betts. Two good face-off participants. Idaho wins the face-off. I'm a little bit rusty here with not calling hockey for 4 months. Bear with me. Over to the right side. Idaho trying to get it in. It bounced off a Grizzly. Over to the right circle. Utah gets to Kyle Betts. Betts will dump it towards the Idaho blue line. Gathering his Svanenbergs, as he scored a goal in the second period. Idaho to the left side gains the offensive line. Brady gets hit by Klerman. Brady throws to the corner. Utah trying to box out Svanenbergs. He'll feed it to the right side. As Pfizer over there along with A.J. White. White trying to get it to Kawaguchi. It goes past him. Now Klerman over to the right side gets hit by Brady, but Klerman was able to clear it out along the near wing boards.
Well, you really like the job that Klerman's done tonight. It's been very solid. He's made that basic play that we've been talking about, and right there's another one. As right up front with Cam Strong, Stone and Pouncey on the blue line for the penalty kill.
4:22 and counting left in the third, halfway through the Idaho power play. as the Steelheads gain the line. Right side, Wade Murphy spins it around. Jordan Stone skates behind the net. He rims it around the boards. Cut off. Steelheads keep it in. Bardo, high slot, shot, saved by Parikh. And the Grizzlies, Cam Strong clears it out, and he'll skate off the ice as the Grizzlies make a line change. About 30 seconds left in the Idaho power play. Steelheads to neutral ice. Pelton Bice gains the line, bounces off the far boards. Now Pelton Bice has it behind the nets. We'll just call him Bice maybe, or Pelton tomorrow or something, or maybe even Ty. Grizzlies take it away. Utah, right, skates in, he'll take a shot, and he goes over the crossbar. Golden opportunity there, and he was trying to go glove side on Kupski, but he fired it high. Late in the power play, Steelheads to the right side, try to get it over across to Becker as Keller, high slot, shot, saved by Parikh. Out of the penalty box is Martin, as Grizzlies clear it into the Steelhead zone. Martin will skate to the bench as we've got about 3 minutes and 15 seconds and counting left in the third. Steelheads are up by a 3-2 score. Klerman across to Jamison, across the center ice, and literally kicks it deep in the Steelhead zone. Jamison collides over in the corner. Becker in the area. Johnny Walker as well. Coming out of the scrum with the puck is the Steelheads, but Utah pokes it back towards the end wall. Utah gets to the left point for Nielsen. He'll take a quick wrist shot. Oh, I got redirected off the stick and goes high off the glass. Stays in play as Utah along the end wall. Less than 3 minutes left. We'll keep an eye to see if Utah comes off for an extra skate or Parikh's still in there. Idaho gains the line. Over to the left side. Jack Becker gets around Simeone. Rolls towards Parikh, who makes the save but keeps a play in action. Oh, I tried to shovel to the right circle. Didn't have much steam. Idaho throws to the right point. Brady with a shot. Saved by Parikh. Over towards the near wall. Johnny Walker clears it back into the Steelhead zone. Utah makes a line change. 2:22 and counting left in the third. Idaho stops the right wing. Looks to center it. Utah picks it back off to center ice. Steelheads back in their own zone. Feed it towards Kawaguchi. Now it's near center ice, near the bench area. As Idaho gets it. They're a team that likes to control the puck as they feed it from blue line to blue line. Puck rolls towards Parikh. Lucas will shovel it towards the near wing boards. Utah lifts it over the head of Pfizer and deflects into the bench area as it hit a Grizzly over there. 1:55 left in the third. Still lead by 1.
And the Steelheads are leading the shots by a hefty amount. 33 shots for Idaho, 20 for your Utah Grizzlies. It's a big part of what's happened here is that I think really somewhere in that second period, Idaho put their foot on the gas, and for most of the second period, they dominated. But now we've seen in this third period some adjustments out of the Grizzlies. You're playing a lot more in the Idaho end, especially deep behind their net.
Draws in the Grizzlies' zone left circle. Steelheads win it. Murphy with a shot kick saved by Parikh. Grizzlies will throw it ahead. Idaho keeps it in. Murphy with another shot and hits off the stick of Nielsen. Rolls towards the right corner. Now Steelheads over to the right side. Utah trips him up. No call. Good job by Cameron Wright cutting him off. Out to center ice. Pfizer left wing dumps it in. And Parikh's off the ice. Empty net on Utah's side, 6-on-5. Grizzlies in the offensive zone. They get it up top for Nielsen. 1:30 left. Across to Martin. Right point. Now to Nielsen on the left side. Over to Pfizer on the left. Pfizer just outside the circle. He'll get it to the goal line. Now to Martin. Martin with a lefty shot. Saved by Kupski. Puck goes to the right corner. Idaho gets the puck. An empty net. Steelheads make a move. Now to center ice. Looking for Miller. Now to Murphy. He'll take a shot and that one gets blocked. Puck goes out to neutral ice. Right side. Gains the line, veers off to the left. Right gets spun around. He gets tripped up, and that's going to be a penalty. 1 minute left in regulation. Nielsen across to Klerman. Klerman on the right side. Now he'll back it out. Klerman's now at neutral ice. Grizzlies will tag up. He'll intentionally throw it to Colton Keller to get the power play started as tripping's a call. And the Grizzlies will have an offensive zone draw. 50 seconds left. It will be 6-on-4 with Utah's net empty.
Yeah, and you got a lot of guys with sticks on knees here. You got to find a way with 50 seconds to go to get this equalizer. And you know that Nielsen's going to be out there. Pfizer as well looks like he'll be there.
That'd be a long shift, and luckily, I think Utah's going to use their one timeout just to give that group a little bit of a breather.
Oh, I don't think there's any doubt.
Utah does use their one timeout as Ryan Kanasowicz has the clipboard out, and he's going to design a play. I could look for Nielsen getting a one-timer, maybe Pfizer getting involved from the left side.
Yeah,
a lot of options there.
I think you have a lot of options this timeout presented by Siegfried and Jensen since 1990, your go-to for injury attorneys. And I think when you look at this particular situation, I don't think there's any doubt you're trying to find a clean lane for Klerman or you're trying to find a clean lane for Nielsen. Because that, I think you're going to see that they're going to have, the two extra bodies. You're going to have a guy in front of the net. You're probably going to have multiple guys crashing off of the shot. You'd really like to see Nielsen or Klerman end up with the puck going towards the net here. You got to win the draw, of course.
Yeah, that's the key. Winning the face-off. And I know late in games, Grizzlies did a good job winning those key face-offs, but usually they were the ones that were ahead in those situations.
And we'll see who takes it. I got to think it's
Wright. Wright's going to be on the left wing. Cam Strong's out there. Kyle Betts will definitely take the face-off.
Yeah.
Weiser out there as well. Martin and Nielsen up top. 6-on-4. Utah's net's empty. 50.4 seconds left in the third. Steelheads lead 3-2. Grizzlies win the face-off. Pfizer, left side, feeds it to the goal line on the far side. Now back to Pfizer. Taryn, plenty of room in the left circle. Gets across to Nielsen. One-timer. Ani didn't get much on it and goes wide. As puck goes back to Nielsen. Andrew throws it up top for Martin. Back to Nielsen on the right side. 30 seconds left. Nielsen over to the right. Back to Nielsen. 26 seconds left. Now to Martin. Martin to Pfizer on the left side in the circle. Pfizer over to the goal line to Cameron Wright. He had a tough time handling the puck. Puck bounces off the far boards. Martin gets over to Nielsen. One-timer, takes save by Kupski. Now Pfizer. 10 seconds left. Over to Martin. Martin back to Pfizer. One-timer, and that one gets blocked in front. 5 seconds left. Pfizer gets knocked down. Utah centers it. Gets kicked back to the corner. And time will run out on the Grizzlies here in the preseason opener as Idaho holds on for a 3-2 victory. Steelheads led 2-1 after 2 periods. Both teams scored 1 in the third. And the Grizzlies, with a frantic effort, they won the face-off. They had the puck in the offensive zone for the entire 50-second power play. But the Steelheads held on strong. Grizzlies just ran out of time. I imagine the play they drew out was Nielsen with a one-timer on the right side. Had his look and just kind of fanned on it. Didn't get much on it. Grizzlies were able to keep it in the zone. Pfizer had a look, but ultimately comes up short. And the Steelheads win this game. That will not count in the standings, but both teams had fun. Well, Idaho had a little bit more fun. And at the end of the day, we're going to have a shootout. It's preseason, so we're going to have a shootout after this game. So it's not going to have any bearing on the outcome of the fans. Some of them are heading for the exits, but we're going to have a shootout here to end this action here at Idaho Central Arena.
Yeah, and I think you're going to rue the tape on this. I mean, you're going to watch the tape on this game, and it is not going to be kind to you in some of the fundamental basics of hockey. But all these things that we saw tonight from the Utah Grizzlies can be cleaned up. And I would expect tomorrow in Ogden, you're going to see a much better performance out of this Grizzlies team.
That's what preseason's all about. And after all, this game doesn't count. So some things to clear up, but luckily have game situations to be able to have some film to be able to get those things cleared up. So we're going to have a shootout. I think we're doing, it's kind of like the NHL. They do it just for fun and for fan entertainment, and that's what they're doing here. Ty Pelton-Bice will shoot first for Idaho. Pelton-Bice skating from right to left, gets the puck. He skates the right side. Bice, a lefty shot, makes a nice backhand move, and he scores. He played for Newfoundland in this league last season, and a little bit with Manitoba in the AHL. He made a nice move on Parikh. Idaho leads 1-0 in the shootout.
Not much Lucas was going to do there. That was a heck of a move.
Joey Kolatarchi will shoot for Utah. Kolatarchi, the Estero, Florida native. He takes the puck. He'll skate over to his left. Kola, patient approach, backhand shot, and Kupski makes the save. It's more for fun than anything else. Idaho leads 1-0 after one round of the shootout. Jordan Kawaguchi, who played last season in the AHL with the Texas Stars, had 6 goals on the season. He takes the puck wearing number 77. Last year was Prampavessis that wore that number. He'll skate in. He'll take a lefty shot. Kick save by Parikh.
Oh, no. That hit the post, and Lucas Parikh just went and petted the iron. I'm telling you, that postage, your best friend is a goaltender, excuse me.
Cam Strong will shoot for Utah. He had 4 goals for Reading and 4 more for South Carolina last season. He'll skate in. He'll veer off to the right. Now down the middle, take a lefty shot. Saved by Kupski. Nice move by Strong. He tried to sneak it past Kupski's stick. But the Steelheads still lead 1-0 as we head into the third round of the shootout. Wade Murphy. Got to say, I've been impressed with him. He's about 29 years old. He takes the puck. As he'll skate to the right side, take a shot, saved by Parikh as Murphy tried to go low on him.
Wait, Lucas Parikh has been so impressive tonight. And here comes Taryn Pfizer. You're about to see this shootout tied at 1.
Pfizer will take the puck. Bet you lunch on it. Pfizer will skate in, and he'll take a shot. Saved by Kupski. I didn't want to win that lunch anyway because that means I would have had to say that he wouldn't have made it. As we get 3 rounds to a shootout, and that will do it. As Idaho wins 1-0 in the shootout. They win the game 3-2. As everybody on Idaho with high fives, on the Grizzlies side the same. As it was a pretty entertaining game. I think it's one of those things where, the Grizzlies were working on some things. You saw shifts being distributed pretty evenly. And I think for Idaho, they want to protect home ice. And you know that the Steelheads are on a mission this season after missing the playoffs for the first time in franchise history. Overall, I thought it was a pretty entertaining game.
Very entertaining game, and I think there's a lot of things you saw tonight from the Grizzlies that they can pretty easily clean up. And I think Ryan Kanasowicz is a competitive dude. And I think the message is going to be very clear. If we'd have done the basics, we probably win this game. And I would agree with him in that if that is indeed his message. If the Grizzlies would have executed really at the top of the zone, and I think if they would have kept pucks in a little better, if they would have just, lived to fight another shift, dump that puck back in, make the right decision. Tyson, I think we're having a very different conversation tonight.
Grizzlies led 1-0 after 1 period as Dakota Raby scored a power play goal, 12-17 in. Nate Klerman and Keaton Jamison with the assist. Utah led 1-0 after 1. Idaho outshot Utah 11-7 in the first period. Steelheads outshot the Grizzlies 11-4 in the second period. Jonas Spanenbergs scored 15:41 in with the assist going to Jordan Kawaguchi. He got the assist, and then less than a minute later, 16:27 into the second. Nick Canati got his first of the preseason. He played the last couple years in Finland. Zach Walker and Colton Keller with the assists. Steelheads led 2-1 after 40 minutes of play. In the third period, Idaho got a insurance goal, and it certainly turned out to be a big one as it turned out to be the game winner. A power play goal. Matt Register took a shot from the high slot. It was redirected by A.J. White, who put it away. White really was outstanding for the Steelheads. He was their team MVP last season. He had 25 goals and 44 assists for Idaho last year. 2 years ago, he was with the Grizzlies, scoring a lot of goals in that very same fashion. And that was the case with Idaho last season. A lot of those tip-ins and rebounds and a lot of those dirty, greasy goals. That's A.J. White's game. He gave the Steelheads a 3-1 lead. Grizzlies got back on the board less than a minute later. 3:39 into the third. Andrew Nilsson scored with Bryson Martin and Keaton Jamison getting the assist. And it stayed a 3-2 game throughout. A few more shots in the third. Idaho had 12 shots, the Grizzlies 11. And then there was a shootout afterwards just for fun, and Idaho won the shootout 1-0 as they scored in the top half of the first. And that was the only goal there. And Steelheads won 3-2, and the scene shifts to the Weber County ice sheet in Ogden for tomorrow night. I'm certainly looking forward to it, as hopefully we'll have a lot of Grizzlies fans in attendance. We might see a few new faces that did not play last night. Might end up seeing them play tomorrow. And we'll probably see Garrett Metcalf, the Salt Lake City native. He'll probably be in net as Lucas Parikh got the start tonight.
Well, it would be fun to see. And who knows? Tyler Penner's here back in Salt Lake, I should say. He's with the club. Ben Tardiff is with the club as well. It'd be great to see them get their feet wet this season for the Utah Grizzlies, because both of them are wonderful players. But I think some of the positives you can take away tonight, Lucas Parikh had some really good moments between the pipes for the Utah Grizzlies. I don't think there's any doubt about that. I also don't think that there's any doubt when you look up and down this roster sheet. Guys like Nate Klerman, I thought, had a really nice night. I think Johnny Walker did some good things. I think certainly Andrew Nilsson will feel good about scoring the goal. I liked also the way that Dakota Raby played. I think Dakota had some really good moments using his speed, but I also liked that he threw the body around a little bit. And I think you have a lot of things that you can build on in this game. And I think you'll see a lot of these mistakes from tonight cleaned up tomorrow at the Weber County Ice Sheet. And I'll remind everybody, please make sure that when you watch us on YouTube, give us a thumbs up. Please subscribe and click the bell so that you know when we're going to be live. Because next Friday, it all kicks off in the regular season at the Maverik Center. Rapid City's in town. You're going to see the banner go up to the rafters. And I cannot compel you enough to come and see the Maverik Center. It is going to be an unbelievable experience. There's brand new digital in the building. There's a big center hung Jumbotron that's going to be in there with 4 beautiful screens. The ribbon board is brand new. The Raptors are going to be, pulling up a new banner. It is a new era of Utah Grizzlies hockey at the Maverik Center. Get your tickets right now today, UtahGrizzlies.com.
It's going to be fun. We're a week away from the start of the regular season. This game didn't count, and good thing because Idaho ended up winning by a 3-2 score. We'll see you tomorrow night. We'll start the coverage, what, about 6:50?
Yeah, 6:50 again. Yeah. And again, remember that the Mustangs play at 3 o'clock tomorrow. It's a really wonderful event. The link to the tickets are in the description below. Come on out, $15 get you a doubleheader of hockey from 3 with the Mustangs and at 7:10 with the Grizzlies and the Idaho Steelheads in Game 2 to close out the preseason. It's going to be a lot of fun at the Weber County Ice Sheet. And if you are coming out, make sure you come by and say hello to Tyson and I as we call Game 2 of the preseason. So good job getting the rust off and everything.
There was plenty of rust. I did a terrible job tonight.
Oh, come on. You did a great job.
Make sure to dress warm if you go to the game because they keep the ice sheets really cold. So you're going to want to make sure you get a couple extra layers of clothes with when you go to the ice sheet tomorrow. Grizzlies and the Steelheads, second of a 2-game set. Grizzlies will face Rapid City. And you want to come next weekend to Maverik Center because, well, after the first 2 home games, the Grizzlies will be on the road for 8 straight games.
Yeah.
So if you want to catch Grizzlies hockey tomorrow at the ice sheet and then next week against Rapid City for that 2-game set, because after that, Grizzlies will be here for 2 games. Know a lot of Grizzlies fans like to travel to Boise. That'd be a good opportunity for that. And the Grizzlies face Kansas City for 3 and Allen for 3 and then face these same Idaho Steelheads in mid-November. A lot of good action here tonight, and let's do it again tomorrow.
Absolutely, Tyson. Great working with you, buddy.
It was a lot of fun. Once again, the final score, the Idaho Steelheads defeat the Utah Grizzlies 3-2. We hope you enjoyed the broadcast, but not necessarily the final outcome. For Monty, I'm Tyson Whiting, and it is what it is. You've been watching the Grizzlies Hockey Network, presented by Mountain Land Supply Company.
Maverik's new bean-to-cup machines always deliver a freshly ground cup of coffee on demand, so you can enjoy any of our premium roasts at their best, day or night, hot or iced. Enjoy a fresh cup today.